Holy moly. What's up, chat? Holy shit. What a good day. What a good Monday it is. Holy wait, it is Monday, right? Yeah. Boys, I am fucking feeling good. Feeling nice. New Haruma Red X? Wait, no way. Is this guy the answer to my prayers? Nah, we already watched that one. We watched that one the other day. Max, are you team moon or sun in this whole solar eclipse? Are there teams? Can't stay, but just here to say legendary stream title. Wait, I actually forgot what I... One second. I stare directly at it because I can overcome anything and am a warrior. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good title. Yo, is Pluto a planet, by the way? Didn't they cancel Pluto? Didn't Pluto get canceled? Pluto was once our solar system's 9th planet, but it has been reclassified as a dwarf planet. Bro, that's tough. Dude. This is super random, but have you guys seen that... Why is this music so loud right now? Hey. Okay, don't go down to 0, just... Okay, whatever. Have you guys seen Michael Porter Jr.? He's a basketball player, but he made his own podcast, and there was a clip going around on Twitter of him interviewing, I forget her name, it's a porn star. Lana something Rhodes? Something like that. Laura Rhodes or some shit. Lana Rhodes? Okay. So he's interviewing Lana Rhodes. Dude, let me just play the clip. I'm going to play it without even showing you the actual clip, but I just want you to listen to it and listen to his reaction. It's so fucking funny. It's so funny. Let me see if I can find it. Here, I'm gonna play it right now. Here we go.
You just meet someone. Imagine
She's talking
like
about why the adult industry is really rough. Okay.
Imagine like you just meet someone in the lobby and like you're not attracted to them at all, and it's like, okay, now you have to fuck them and pretend that you like it.
No, that's definitely
It's
tough.
awful.
Nah, that's definitely tough. No fucking way. That is such a fucking funny reaction, man. Just imagine you have to meet these people that you've never met before. And then someone's like, you have to fuck them and pretend like you like it. Nah, that's tough. Oh my god. He could have said anything else. Never got to hear the clip. Thanks, ads. We'll watch it again. We'll watch it again when we go live here. Oh wait, while I'm here, actually, let me order some more key lights so I can get better backlighting in my room. El Gato. Actually, wait. Are there any lighting geniuses here? Is there better and more convenient lighting than like an Elgato key light? I'll give you an example of what it's like. So basically you just set it up, you aim it wherever you want. It has a bunch of different settings. And it like connects to your computer and you can easily change the hue and the power of the light. Does anyone know? Anyone a light genius? The sun? Yeah, the sun was doing that today. Guys, I stared at it with no glasses for a full minute. Dude, okay, what would actually happen if you did that? Would you go blind? You would probably go blind, right? Nah, some damage though. Yeah. All right, here we go. Keylight Mark II. Oh, bro, I think I have the Keylight Mark I. Holy fuck. Okay. Wait. I might need to get a little bundle here. 2 Keylight Mark II. That should enable for me to get a bundle, little bundy. All right, guys. I'm almost done here. I'm just trying to... Elgato does not like me adding a second keylight into my cart. They're not fans of this. Oh, wait. I did it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Wait. Configure my bundle. Bro, configure me. Give me that bundle. Bro, this website is so hard to deal with right now. All right, we got it. Wait, Elgato doesn't let you use Apple Pay? What the fuck? What the fuck? You guys think we're still gonna be using physical credit cards in 2030? Yeah, we probably will. Bro, that's the one thing the pandemic was low-key lit for, is everywhere taking like tap payment with your phone. That is, bro, I don't even carry my wallet around with me, which is probably bad because if I got pulled over, I would need my license. Wait, if you get pulled over and you have a picture of your license, does that work? That probably doesn't work. All right, well, okay, I should probably fix that, but What is it, Max? I asked Crip in his stream if he would be interested in talking with you about raid bosses and guessing their difficulty. He said that would be cool. Oh, interesting. I did... Wait, Crip knows who I am? That's really surprising, actually. Okay. Yeah, if you guys were here during last stream, basically the idea was... basically yoinking a Hearthstone idea, which is like show these other card game people or ex-Hearthstone player this card and guess if it's good or not. And I was thinking if you could yoink that and like make it work for WoW and like talk to ex-Raider and see if they can guess if this boss was hard or not. Yoinking rare end vids. Yeah, that guy's content's sick. I just saw it the other day. I hope he doesn't look at this chat today. We are so peaceful and generally the better chat, and we don't need to be tainted by the AMZ nerf guy. I just read it, though. I just fucking read it, though. Get out of my lobby, kid. You're done. Are you playing Plunder Storm with a starting soon screen? Nah. Dude, I should do, bro. I haven't played Plunder in a while. I'm down, though. Maybe some Plunder with viewers later would be fun. Max, if Alpha was tomorrow, they would announce something today, or would it just be surprise release? I mean, how the fuck would I know? You know? All I know is, I guess it could come this week or next week, right? Because they said it's coming before, Season 4, and that's on the 21st. So it would have to be this week or next week. Oh, yeah, he definitely knows. Guys, what are you talking about? First of all, let's go live. Let's just go live, then. What do you mean I definitely know? You can look at, Oh, my mic's just gonna fuck up, then. Oh, that hurts. Okay. And before you ask, yes, I am wearing my favorite duck shirt today. Okay, what are we doing here? Oh, I have 500,000 followers. That's cool. WoW 2024 roadmap. The only thing that is known is that Alpha is coming after Plunderstorm and before Season 4. We have a Season 4 date of April 20-something, right? Isn't it like 2 weeks from now? I have no idea. The 23rd? Yeah, so the War Within Alpha has to come this week or next week, right? It's just right there. That's not knowing anything. That's just on the banner, right? It says it. Memes aside, are you planning on interacting with Season 4 at all, or nah, too uncooked? I don't know, man. Like, maybe our guild will get up early and we'll do some content and try to clear these raids right away. And really, the only reason we would do something like that is to see some of our new players and get them experience, like somewhat progression experience. See how they perform. You get pretty rare opportunities to do that since they're all doing farm that they've done a million times. But like, as far as me playing it, I mean, I just don't even know what would make me want to do that. Like, nothing's changed. It's just, like, I really enjoyed playing Demon Hunter last patch. Maybe if there's, like, some crazy balance changes and I can, like, play a class that I haven't played. Are there any new players other than Boomy and the Echo guy? That's a good question. I don't know. So our new players we got are the Echo guy, Boomy, and... Wait, I'm just looking at our list. Nope, I think that's it. Echo said Tobo just randomly left the guild. Is that true, or did he just /G quit? What? I have no idea what you just asked me. You said, Echo said that Tobo just randomly left the guild. Is that true, or did he /G quit? But /G quit would be randomly leaving the guild. That's the same thing. They said he just randomly left. Oh, I mean, he just approached us and wanted to play here, and then we made that happen. I have no idea how he... I mean, I know he, like, told them and then waited, like, a couple weeks and, like, did some kind of process. I don't know, like, how he left or who he told or whatever, but, I mean, the officers were well aware long before it happened. Max, are you expecting big nerfs to classes with Season 4 release? I don't know, man. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I just don't care. Let's see. Have you lost weight, or am I imagining things? I've lost well, I haven't lost a ton of weight because I've been like working out a lot, so I've also been getting stronger. Like recomping, I guess is what it's called. But yeah, I've lost like 15 pounds since the beginning of the year, but I've also gained like muscle weight as well. And I'm wearing my favorite duck shirt. Have I ever shown you all my duck shirt before? It's just a duck. It's just a duck, and I like it. It's my favorite shirt. When do you think the War Within Alpha will release? That's what I said before. It's I don't know when, but I would assume in the next 2 weeks, because it says right here that that is when that'll be happening. Season 4 is 3 weeks away. Pluto Storm has already happened. War Within Alpha comes out before Season 4. You can do the math, right? Is it your favorite shirt or your favorite duck shirt? It is my favorite shirt that has a duck on it. Do you think... Wait, no. Well, same thing, I guess. Do you think Blizz realizes that no matter what they do with Season 4, the player base will crater, so it's better to put resources in the next expansion? Oh, so you're saying the reason that they didn't try with Season 4 is that the player base will crater. So, like, why would you try if you know that no one's going to play it? Well, then it's like, why would you do it kind of thing, right? Because Season 4 is a new idea. Like, they did it last expansion. Also, Season 4 was, like... Season 4 was really positive last expansion, except for one specific... It was the person that only raided and just wanted to, like, chill and farm until the next X-Pack, and they felt like they had to reprogress stuff. But, like, Mythic Plusers were happy. Even a lot of raiders were happy. They were like, we get to go back and do this really cool raid again in Castle Nathria. Like, basically, if you were to ask people last expansion, would you have rather gotten the new PvP season, the new Mythic Plus season, bringing back the dungeons, and the raid rotation, or would you rather just it be the same Mythic Plus season, the same PvP season, and just farm Sepulchre for another 5 months? I mean, you would get a resounding do the season 4 thing, last expansion, right? So, and maybe even still, I mean, it's not for me. This is what we've been kind of realizing recently, right? Like, WoW, retail WoW has now like been segmented into like a few different standalone games that like people kind of play. Like I play this game to raid and for PvE pretty much exclusively. I don't care about PvP. I don't care about world content. But there's like a bunch of people who just play for world content and casual stuff. There's a bunch of people who just play for PvP. There's a bunch of people who just play for Mythic Plus, right? And like really the only people super left out of season 4 are raiders, and I'm one of them. So I'm like, I think season 4 is really disappointing. But if you're a Mythic Pluser, I mean, it's kind of just like a new season, right? I mean, I guess you're doing like dungeons you've already done before, and they're also not really great, but you know, whatever. It's like a Mythic Plus season, right? If you're a PvPer, it's a PvP season. You get like maybe a different tier setback or something, but I mean, other than that, there's really no changes. But like for most classes in the game, there's not a lot of changes going into a new patch, so. And for a lot of people, and I don't think that this is nothing, right, is regardless of whatever you do in the game, your progression has been reset, right? You get to start again, and you get to gather all of the best items from the whole expansion, and you get to make your character thick as fuck again, you know? Some people play for that. Some people use that to enhance their experience. Some people unironically play to make their character strong. I mean, it's a pretty normal RPG thing, right? So, like here, you guys want to make a stupid graph? All right. Here is WoW's entire player base. Here's how much play WoW, and again, these numbers are like kind of made up, but let's just actually assume they're straight up split evenly. Okay, so let's like do 4 sections. Let's do world content, rating, or no, I'm doing this the wrong way. It's actually really easy to do. You just gotta cut it in half, right? Something like that. And then you do that. Oh, that's bad. Come on, we gotta make it look somewhat good. Nope, still too far. Right there. Nope, a little less right there. That works. Okay, and here. Okay, so let's say it's like, this is Raiders, and this is Mythic Plusers, and this is PvPers, and this is world content. Right? So this is all the reasons everyone... World content / casual stuff. Okay? This is the only reason anyone plays WoW. It would be only these things. It's not entirely true, but... it wouldn't be separated this evenly. Like for example, PvE will be way larger compared to PvP. But just forget that. Okay. So like I think for these people, and we'll color it green. Let's make sure it's actually colored all the way through, or the line actually connects all the way. Okay, so if you're making season 4, these people are happy, right? And these people are sad. Actually, go ahead and just do this. So I think like generally happy, right? Like it's just better. If you're a Mythic Pluser, there's no world where it's not better to have this over. If PvP or same thing, like new season, new gear progression, new things to do, that's just good, right? If you're a world content person and casual stuff doing rating, like you're getting new content for you, and you're just getting new content, right? So it just has to. If you're someone like that that's just doing mount runs every week, and it's like how could that be worse than you having the same content? It's just new content, right? So we're not happy. But this is also like kind of how a lot of people respond to news, you know? Why do you guys think that there's always a bunch of people that are super upset about stuff? Well, if you were to just simply break down the entire game's audience into these these 4 groups, anytime they make something and they make some crazy cool adjustment to raiders, right? Raiders are happy, and everyone else is mad that Blizzard... You guys heard what people said about Plunderstorm, right? I don't like Plunderstorm because it means they were taking time away from developing WoW, which is like, you know, the only thing they care about in WoW is what they care about, and they're making this thing that I don't like, right? But like a lot of people did like Plunderstorm. Right? But you, no matter what, anytime you make content for like one of these 4 groups, by default, 75% of the game is mad. Right? So that's why no one's ever happy, because all 4 of these people play this game for a totally different reason, and it's probably impossible for Blizzard to make something that makes all of them happy. You know, they just have to try to make it good for all of them. This chart isn't accurate though. 80% of raiders should be green for season 4. Oh, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. What do you guys think, Chad? Do you guys think that 80% of people that consider themselves raiders in this game are happy with season 4? I mean, some people are going to be happy. I think the 80% number is probably a little high. I'll explain to you why. Instead of just making things up, I'll explain to you why I think that raiding is not super popular. For raiders, this patch is something you're not going to really enjoy. So let's go from the top down. From the very high level play experience, we want a new challenge. I'm not talking world first raid. I'm talking like top, like couple hundred guilds, like a lot of people. Like there's nothing, you've done all these raids. There's nothing to do again, and it just seems like a chore to have to go back and do it, and it's not something you look forward to. Pretty generally speaking, just from that community, you would just rather have a new raid, or honestly, I don't know. Is it a plus side for those people to have this? I don't know. Like no one in my guild's looking forward to it. So there's that, and then you have the guild that's not like top 100, and they eventually got cutting edge in these raids, but like maybe their rosters changed a lot, and really they're already done with Emirdrasil, but they're just kind of waiting for the next expansion to come around. You can't really take a long break and farm without your guild dying. You have to kind of keep raiding, and what some of those guilds were looking forward to is just farming easy ass Emirdrasil once every week or two to keep their group together, and then like just ride it out until the war within. And now that's like they have to be put back into progression again, and that's just not, and specifically they're put back into progression again to do stuff that isn't even awesome. It's not like we're going back to Castle Nathri again. Like the first 2 raids of this expansion were not very good raids. They had a lot of problems. They had a lot of good stuff, but specifically like major problematic second to last boss in the second raid, and the first boss, Razageth's fucking horrible. Like, bro, there ain't no way if you got cutting edge in season 1, are you looking forward to going back and doing Dathia progression to assign killing groups for Broodkeeper, or to just do Razageth in general? Nobody. No one wants to do that. Okay, so there's that, and then there's an even lower level of guilds that maybe haven't even cleared cutting edge, but still just like to raid with each other every week. Those guilds have an even more interesting problem with season 4, and maybe some of you guys can relate to this. If you've ever raided 2 days a week, the amount of days they're raiding doesn't really matter, but this way I can kind of explain to you the feeling that they have. Have you guys ever, it doesn't even matter how many days a week you raid. Have you ever taken 3 to 4 days off of your raid? Like you raid Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday or something, and like you raid Monday after Wednesday, like you've taken 5 days off of raiding, or 5 days in between you raiding. And you've shown up on Monday, and literally the first 30 minutes to an hour of your like 3-hour raid is just remembering what you learned last time because it's been 5 days. Okay, so just imagine that, but let's just say you raid 2 to 3 days, and, you know, you get halfway through whatever the first raid that comes out and faded. It's not like you can log on Tuesday and keep that progression in your momentum. It will be 3 weeks until you can actually even do that raid again. So it halts your progression insane, and you're just not going to remember what you learned last time. You're going to be stronger in power level the next time you get there, but you're just going to go back and start progressing some other thing that isn't even a good raid the next week that's different. So I don't think those people are generally happy, and that was actually the main people that were complaining in Season 4 in Shadowlands was people that fell under that umbrella. So just kind of breaking this down from all raiders. Now, are there people who raid, enjoy showing up to raid every week, and entire guilds of these people, although it's kind of hard to have a guild that all feels the same way about that kind of stuff, and are just like, hey, well, I don't know, it's something to do. I like raiding in WoW, and we get to go back and do some new stuff and get some new gear and stuff. Like, so to say that like 0% of raiders are happy is wrong. Like, there are those people, but like I know of significant portions of people from the high-end community, the mid community, and the low-end rating Mythic rating community that all have different reasons to really not want this thing. And we'll see how that plays out, but I think saying that 80% of people who play this game to raid are happy with Season 4 is I would like heavily disagree with that number. Max is a warrior, a bit of a washed class. No, I'm not talking about the WoW class, bro. I'm talking about like mentality. Like, I'm a fucking warrior legend beast because I stared at the sun. Holy shit. You're a pickle? Fuck you, buddy. You're a pickle. Is that factoring in normal and heroic raiders or people who just like to pug those? Okay, I'm totally making this up as we go here, but I feel like heroic raiders are probably happy about Season 4, right? It's just like you get to kind of, it's like you do your heroic raid every week anyway, but now you just kind of rotate through them. That's a lot of people. Oh yeah, I want to show you guys that clip earlier that I thought was super funny. Oh wait, I need to find it again. Twitter, Michael Porter Jr. podcast. This. Was it this? No, that's not it. This is just one of the funniest moments I've ever seen. Here it is. All right, so Lana Rhodes is like someone from the adult film industry, and she's being interviewed on Michael Porter Jr.'s podcast, who's a player for the Nuggets. And yeah, if you don't follow professional sports, there is a team called the Nuggets, which goes pretty fucking hard. And they're sick too. They won the championship last season. Yeah, so just listen to this reaction that he has. It's because basically she's like, I think, out of the industry now, but she's talking about why the industry sucks, and then his just listen to this.
Imagine like you just meet someone in the lobby and like you're not attracted to them at all, and it's like, okay, now you have to fuck them and pretend that you like it.
No, that's definitely
It's
tough.
awful.
Oh my god. Nah, that's definitely tough though. Holy shit. Oh, I just can't, man. He's so naturally funny. Just crazy, crazy vibes. That is definitely tough. But you guys got ads again? Alright, I'll play it again when the ads are over. How long do you guys have ads for? Wasn't one of the Nuggets players involved with adult stars and it never really came out who? Bro, I have no fucking clue. From what I can tell, the like famous athlete community and porn stars go hand in hand. That seems to be something that happens a lot. Oh, you guys have ads, by the way? That's definitely tough. That is tough. there's so much fucking... I'm getting so many texts. Oh, group text about a hockey game. All right, their ads are almost over. Max, who from your guild is most likely to date a porn star? No judgment, though. Well, what does that mean? Who is most likely to date a porn star? I feel like porn stars can kind of date whoever they want, it seems like. So I guess it would just be someone in our guild who's really attractive and successful. So like Atlas or Nick or something. But like in a comical way, THD. I could see THD just pulling up with just a limo full of porn stars. I could see it. You guys know what THD stands for, right? Dude, people think it's the huge dick, but that's actually not true. I don't know what it is, but it's some, like, dumb thing. Okay. Anyways, now that ads are over, you guys can see this reaction again, because they played at the worst time.
Imagine, like, you just meet someone in the lobby, and, like, you're not attracted to them at all, and it's like, okay, now you have to fuck them and pretend that you like it.
No, that's definitely
It's
tough.
awful.
Dude, him, like, awkwardly reaching to scratch his head at the same time too is so fucking funny, man. Nah, that's definitely tough though. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Wait, I always thought it was the huge dick. No, THD, I don't know what it stands for. It's not the huge dick though. Oh man, what the fuck does it mean? I think it's one of those things where like doesn't mean anything. Like he just made it as a kid and then he just like never changed it. Yeah. All right, well, I meant what I said in today's title, by the way. Especially the first part where I stared directly at it because I can overcome anything and am a warrior. That part too, but also the second part, which is not on YouTube because the character limit is too small. So you guys have no idea what the fuck is going on today. I said I'm reacting to whatever my chat wants me to. So if there's like any videos, and we don't have to do this right now. We can do this in an hour. I can yap for a bit, but you know, just usually don't do that. So just if there's any, I know there was one you guys wanted me to watch, which was from someone who like tried to play WoW for a while and like couldn't get into it. I will warn you though, if it's boring or I don't like it, I'm going to stop watching and move on to the next thing. That ruins the challenge? Not. But that'll be in a little bit. We're just going to hang out for a while. I wonder, I don't think there's been any WoW news. I streamed like a little bit yesterday, right? When I was, or was it the day before? No, it definitely wasn't yesterday. I had a pickup game yesterday. Max, are you mostly done with Plunder? I mean, I think so. I played it a lot, had a lot of fun. I mean, I would still play it. It's really, really fun. I would play it right. In fact, I might even play it later if some guys are around. Maybe playing some with viewers would be fun. No this week in WoW yet, sus. Oh, is that you thinking that alpha is going to be this week? It could, dude. I mean, it has to be this week or next week. The War Within 20th Anniversary Collector's Edition on sale on April 17th. Oh, that's a... I guess that wouldn't have anything to do with Alpha coming out, but maybe that could be a thing. Maybe Alpha comes out when that goes on sale. That actually, that I don't even know why those two would be connected. That makes no sense. Blizzard states no intention to extend Diablo 4 Season 4 PTR. Dude, what do you guys think about that? We're not going to go on a huge Diablo 4 tangent, but like, I think D4 offering PTR is kind of bad. Like, and here's why. Because, like, part of the fun of new seasons on that kind of stuff is to not actually know how a lot of it works and not having any corny-ass fucking guide makers, like, tell you what the best builds are going to be. You kind of just go live and you just have to figure it out. Like, you can read the stuff, but you can't, like, actually fully theory craft it because there's a lot of stuff you don't know. So, like, I feel like it ruins that entire element, and that sucks. But the game is so stinky that they need... And they're making so many changes that they need people to actually, like, give them feedback ahead of time because the game is at a critical point. Like if this season doesn't work in D4, that game's actually going to be dead. Like, there was a lot of people who played it last season at the beginning, and then it wasn't very good, and they stopped. There's this theory that they have even and odd teams for seasons, and season 2 is actually really good. So, like, all the copium would be gone if season 4 was bad, and it proved that the even team also wasn't good, you know? From what I've heard, I listened to Datmods talk about it a little bit. I listened to Rax talk about it a little bit. Apparently, the changes they made were actually really fucking good, which is super funny because one of them was just bringing back greater rifts, which were fucking insane in Diablo 3, and then they just made something worse in Diablo 4. That's not a theory. They actually do have 2 seasonal teams. Okay, well then, regardless, like that, if season 4 is bad, then it's kind of like there's even no hope. You can't even just play the even seasons. I think this is D4's because like D3 was fucking awesome for 10 years. It like had problems, but like that was a good weekend to play seasonally, like 2 or 3 times a year. That's high value for me. I fuck with that. Like, if Diablo 4 does that, where I play Diablo 4 two to three times a year, and I play it for, like, a week, that is fucking efficient as fuck content and fun for me. I'm down. But, like, they're close to losing that, so... Interesting to see how that plays out. Max, there's a video of someone put out about the mob being the best max level endgame PvE zone and really broke down the aspects of why and how it could set a new standard for semi-casual players. Yeah, but like that doesn't really pertain to me though. Like I won't have too much of an opinion on that. D3 was good. Bro, if you played those D3 seasons for the last couple years with your boys, there ain't no way you didn't have fun. That's all I'll say. If you played Diablo 3 when it came out and it was bad, and then you stopped, I fully respect the opinion of D3 is bad. If you like just dabbled in it after that point, the game got way fucking better and was a blast to play for a weekend with your friends for a long time. Max Zaryu had a video doing the new Sod raid blind as a pug. I don't really find Season of Discovery stuff very interesting at all. Other than, I was hearing from Dorky, and we talked about this when we recorded the podcast last night. It's not out yet. I think it comes out tomorrow, actually, because Frank is traveling. So if you guys are mad about that, fucking all Frank's fault. Remember that. But, yeah, like, apparently the Season of Discovery community is, like, really upset with the last 2 parts of Season of Discovery. Like, it, like, gets away from the classic spirit, and they referred to a few things specifically. So they came out with this Nightmare Incursion mode, which apparently was super broken for experience and gold, and then they nerfed it. So, like, if you didn't just stay up all night the first night it came out, the economy was ruined, and you don't have any gold, and all these other people do. Very similar to, like, Skarn. You guys remember on Skarn when if you didn't kill it, like, Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday of that week when it was the 5 tank strat, and then they nerfed it, and then like you were just fucked and progressing that for 2 weeks while everyone else just extended. Like that's the same feeling, right? And then also like what people remember about Classic is they love the leveling experience as opposed to retail where it's kind of like the gameplay and the end game. Classic is all about the journey of getting there. It's not actually any of the stuff at the end. It's like literally the leveling process being long and arduous is something people look forward to. And apparently this Nightmare Incursion thing just let you level instantly to level 50, so there was just they removed the leveling too. And they made the raid like too hard, but the raid isn't actually hard, right? It doesn't, nothing the raid is doing is difficult, it's just had too much health and they nerfed that and now it's probably really easy. But yeah, I mean, it just seems like people are unhappy with Season of Discovery. Like initially when it came out, it was super sick. There was all these new runes that changed the way your class played, but apparently now there are new runes every patch, but they're like supplemental to the same gameplay that was introduced in the first part, but there's no new wacky like warrior casters or anything random like that. It's just like that's all the same and you know what's going to be good. I don't know. I'm pretty disconnected from the community, but I heard Dorky talking about this because he's just a Twitch chatter, so he knows stuff like this. It just seems like, I mean, it seems like the criticism for Season of Discovery this season might just be this simple. It just wasn't very well made. Like, if you release a raid that you have to nerf the health of the bosses by 30 to 50%, and you have to nerf the experience and the gold of the only point of content that you actually introduced, then, I mean, it either just wasn't tested very well or they just got it really wrong, right? I mean, it could probably be as simply put as that. If people are unhappy with it, it's probably because it just wasn't made very well. Also, the quality is just clearly degrading with each phase. Oh, interesting. Well, I mean, it's also going to appear like that even if the quality isn't degrading, right? Because, like, none of these extra parts are going to live up to what it was the first time. Because the first time it was all so new and, you know, like, all this stuff was... But, like, now each part is just doing that again. It's like, oh, you level again and there's another thing we've made into a raid. Like, you've seen it before, right? What? Lol, I clicked the thing on my screen by mistake and I subscribed with my Prime. Kind of scam-ish. Oh, dude, thanks for the fucking Prime, bro. Wait, also, what are you talking about? What are you talking about clicking the screen and giving me a Prime? What does that mean? If you click it... Let's see. Go to my channel. Oh, you can claim your sub. It like just pops up on this. Oh, we're going heavy into the fucking Matrix right now, but you have to hit claim your sub and then subscribe. Can I sub to myself? Ah, fuck. It caught my scam. All right, well. Yeah, it's a good button. Free money. Let's see. FYI. Oh, never mind. That is a nice pasta. Yeah, but you had to click it twice. But either way, get scammed, buddy. True. Woo paladins get Divine Storm. Whoa, dude. So exciting. I mean, I don't know. I don't really follow Season of Discovery, but... Yeah, that's actually really... I wonder what's next for Classic, right? Because Cataclysm... I can't imagine... Will people play Cataclysm? Yes. In fact, I might even play Cataclysm, because that's when I first started. I'm actually low-key kind of looking forward to that. And then... But I don't think a lot of other people will. Or maybe there's a timeline where a lot of people quit for Cataclysm Classic back in the day. And then, like, they actually... Or Cataclysm, like, Cataclysm back in the day. And then now... They're going to try it when they're older and more wise. And they'll actually have the based opinion that the game just got better after Wrath. They just quit. Like, a lot of people quit for Mop, too. Which is like, oh my god, was Mop incredible. But... a lot of people just quit before then. So is there an alternate reality where these people keep playing because they have established guilds and people they play with in that game and they're looking forward to it now? And then they continue where they didn't when they were a kid and they realized that the game actually got better and it was really good. I think it's unlikely, but possible. Dungeons were so good at the start of Cata. Yeah, but they're not going to... I think they said they're going to have them in their nerfed version, right? But even then, even if they had them in their pre-nerf version, I still think they would be really easy because people are just better at the game than they were in Cataclysm, you know? Cataclysm got a bad rap because of LFR being added, but it was super fun. Why would LFR being added give it a bad rap? Hey, we're adding a difficulty mode that's way fucking easier than the rest of them just so people who don't want to raid or can't raid can now queue for it anytime they want. Like, someone point out to me how that's bad. I don't get how it's bad. It's just making it more accessible to people that you don't have to interact with. LFR made the game too easy, was the take? Well, isn't the take now from all those same people that retail is too hard? I guess it's always something. Okay, all good. Killing Deathwing the week it released as an ungeared casual player killed all the hype for me. Huh? Wasn't the Deathwing LFR thing not released until later? Yeah, put him up, buddy. Put him up. Hey, Max. I'm in a guild that's racing against World Last. We are in P3 of Fyrak at 7%. Would you come into my raid leader stream and type that I'm a big pumper? I'm probably not going to do that, but that does make me think that maybe this tier is actually the first tier that I can actually watch the race to World Last. So there's like this community of people that bounce around all these different streams. They get hundreds and sometimes like 1,000 viewers, and it's just people watching guilds try to get cutting edge at the last possible moment. And it actually is pretty hype. I've watched a little bit of it, but like usually it's really hype all the way through the morning. But like it would never make sense for me in the past to stay up and fuck my sleep schedule with it being that close to a race, right? But there's no race in season 4. So I actually could do that. Maybe we could do that a little bit later. But the thing is there's no suspense yet. There's no suspense yet. Like, you know, like tomorrow you can still get cutting edge. So maybe that's something we'll do next weekend. My guild went from messy P2 wipes to a 0.3% wipe on Fyrak over one weekend. The nerfs went hard as fuck. Yeah, it's good to hear. What is it? Instead of watching, you could go back to back-to-back not so undercover pushing guilds over the line. Oh, like actually helping one of the guilds? That's really, really hard for me to do. So number one, it's a time commitment, and we don't like those. Number two, it's really hard to find a guild with the right vibe that is okay to be coached and helped and they have a good time. Like, you could pay, and none of those guilds ever paid me, but you could pay me a very large amount of money and I would turn it down even if I could stream it at the same time if it meant that I was trying to help a guild and they like had some dobbies in there and like everyone was just fucking mad and upset and nervous and like but I would do it for free for a guild that was just like having a good time and joking around. But like you never know when you're getting into stuff like that. So that's why I never accept any payment because I need the ability to instantly dip as soon as it gets weird at all. What is it? Guilds getting to P3 right now don't need much coaching at all, just a solid roster. True, yeah. You would help them start the fight because you can basically the main help that I would have with a guild on a boss like Fyrak, which is not an amazing raid leader fight. It's just like you kind of just do it. The only value I would have is by seeing their individual perspectives and stopping people's bad habits early in P1 and P2 that they maybe would not have that pointed out to them otherwise. And that would just like cut down some attempts, but I don't think the raid leading part would really matter for most. I mean, it would matter in some guilds. Like, the reality is a lot of guilds don't have a raid leader at all. Raid leading is super OP. If any of you guys have ever had a raid leader that's really, really good, and you've been in a guild also where there basically wasn't one at all, you know how insanely OP it can be to have one. Yeah, I mean, some guilds, I don't even want to make up a percentage, but I mean, just, I would say like more than half of guilds don't have a raid leader. Like, they have someone with the title of raid leader, but what they'll do is they'll just say some cliche after the pull, like focus up and let's go again. They don't really solve a bunch of problems in between pulls, and they barely talk during the pull because they're so focused on their own performance that the guild is basically playing without a raid leader. There's a ton of guilds like that. It's not those people's fault. Not a lot of people are natural leaders and also are willing to do the correct thing, which is raid lead as well as you possibly can and then play as best as you can personally after that. Like, here's what is like the best thing to do. When you first get to a fight, you should be willing to do like basically no fucking damage if it means that you can just help other people do the right thing. Like, if you have to take a hit to your throughput as a DPS player to coach people up, be super aware, and solve problems mid and in between fights, in between pulls, you will progress so much faster by being that person, because you don't actually have to do sick damage on pull 1. You only need to do great damage when you're ready to pull the when you're ready to kill the boss. Basically, there's some phase-based bosses where that's not true, and obviously the better the player you are, the less you actually have to dip from your playing ability to do that. But guilds that are just like pulling the boss and hope and watch a video before a raid and hope it goes right the next pull, I mean, you're just progressing on turbo slow mode. You know, you're just going as slow as possible because you don't have someone really helping you. Having one person sacrifice their playing ability early on in pulls to be a very effective raid leader will massacre your pull count. It will go so much lower, and everyone will be happier and playing better. You make everyone else play better. It's great. Parse brain equals more pull counts. Well, what does parse brain mean? Dude, honestly, I don't think people in quotes parsing on farm matters at all. Like, I think that's fine. I think a lot of people need something to spice up farm night for them, and for them it's like increasing their personal performance. And yes, I know that people who like their Warcraft logs all-star ranking as their personality, I'm very well aware that they are the most insufferable people on this planet. But, like, if that wasn't a thing, they just wouldn't do that or wouldn't be there, right? Like, they need a little something to show up and actually... They need some stakes, you know? The problem is when people play like that on progression. That's what would actually make me really consider whether someone should be in the guild or not. When someone makes those kind of decisions when you haven't killed a boss yet, that is brutal. It's just annoying whenever re-clear is progression. No, when I say farm, by the way, that's, sorry, semantics. That means like the whole raid is cleared. Like you have the last boss dead. That's what farm means for me, not re-clearing. But I fully understand why for most people farming and re-clearing are the same thing. Even then, usually you're just trying to clear the last boss real quick and it ends up taking 4 hours. Yeah, but you know what? Some people, like, I mean, I find all of it cringe. Even though at a point in my WoW time, that's all I cared about. Actually, I bet it's, like, less of a thing now. Now, hear me out. You guys are probably going to instantly disagree with me, and I also might be wrong. But I think that parsing used to be a way bigger problem, and it's because the Mythic Plus wasn't a thing. Like, because Mythic Plus wasn't a thing, just farming raids was the only thing you could do to, like, why do people do Mythic Plus? Why do people raid? Like, the raids in Mythic Plus are fine. What's really, really good is WoW's combat. WoW PvE combat is so fucking goated. No game is even close. It's way better. Best tab target. It's just no game touches it, right? So like the reason for the history of WoW that people ever have like farmed raids before there's Mythic Plus or do a bunch of Mythic Plus is just because they want to play their character more because playing their character is fun. It is a vehicle in which you can like actually experience your class. So parsing used to be a bigger thing because you weren't going to farm Mythic Plus all week. So your only way to like separate yourself from someone else was to like have better damage on this boss in the one time a week you were able to do it. But like now that you can kind of infinitely PvE with Mythic Plus, you can kind of separate yourself that way as well and apply yourself all the time to where raid farm clears and log rankings are not as the focus of those people as they used to be. Am I wrong? I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it, because I'm completely disconnected from both of these things, but it might still be a big problem, but I could only imagine it used to be a lot worse because it was actually the only thing you could do. What is it? Classic is all about that? Yeah. Dude, you want to know what's super psycho? Is there's like a pretty big parsing community in Final Fantasy 2. And for the exception of a few jobs in that game, which if you don't play that game, jobs are basically specs in WoW. They have literally zero RNG. Like there's not even a proc. You literally press the same things in a same order over a 2-minute period. And there's no variance whatsoever. So like parsing in that game at a high level is just whether your big abilities crit or not. Which is like the most uninteresting. I can't even fucking believe that is the most degenerate thing to care about on the face of this earth. Pull a boss enough times until your big abilities crit. Holy fuck, man. Dancer has procs, Bard has procs. Was my mic muted or something when I started saying that and I said, barring a few jobs, there is no RNG? My mic was muted for that? Okay, yeah, I should probably check that. Meanwhile, WoW has baseline 5% variance. Do you think that... Did I remember someone in my chat said that? Someone during the race, we were on a break, was like, I don't get it. Why do they keep chain pulling? And I think they were being serious. It would have been an insane bit if they were joking, but they were like... They're just like, there's a 5% variance in this game, so like, from pull to pull, the boss can just be 5% lower. Oh, it's such a good bit. It's such a good bit. I'm trying to think of when the last time I actually felt variance on a boss. I think it was killing Rygalon. Because, like, Echo was like, fuck this damage check, let's just learn how to 4 heal, and then they killed it that way, but we killed it 5 healing, which meant that, like, we needed, like, actual perfect DPS. And... God, actually, I just tilted myself on accident. I completely forgot about the variable in Rage. I'm actually mad now. We woke up that morning and we, like, in quotes, killed it on the second pull. But we didn't kill it. We didn't actually kill it for another 5 hours because the boss was supposed to enrage at 7 minutes and 11 seconds. But just based on no one knows why, it would just randomly enrage at 7:06, 7:07. It had a 5-second variable enrage. So we had a wipe at 0.2% on our second pull of the day at 9 a.m. At 0.2%, and the boss enraged at 7 minutes and 6 seconds. So 5 seconds later, obviously we would have done 0.2% of his health in 5 seconds. And then it took us 5 more hours to kill it because the boss was bugged. Woo! Woohoo! That's the only time something like that has ever happened, actually, in WoW. It happens in Final Fantasy. There's a really cool fight in Final Fantasy. It was a savage fight in the Eden raids called Titan. Well, I mean, if you guys have played Final Fantasy, you know who Titan is, but it was like a Titan savage boss, and I think that boss also had a variable in rage, but it was caused by a different reason. The leader of Final Fantasy XIV, Yoshi P, at one point came out and said that the reason that the variable in rage was happening was because of some like instance servers having like a different clock setting or something, so it like just actually either sped up or slowed down the instance. And I just thought that was just the most spaghetti code thing ever. Just imagine you have like I mean, there's been stuff like that in WoW. Do you guys remember AoEing on the first boss? Or sorry, the first phase of Sire Denathrius? Do you guys remember AoEing like all those the ghosts or whatever? Or spirits? I don't know, like when you broke them off people and then you would lag insane. Okay, we would have a full raid, everyone with the exact same talents, because so many people made up so much stuff. It's Earthen Wall Totem, it's Epidemic. Like, by the way, just in case you guys ever heard of that, literally all of that shit is made up. We have done farm kills of that with 1 million mobs, with like 7 unholy DKs, with 1 million Restor Shamans. Like, we have done everything. It is like, we think it's an instance server thing. Like, if you get a bad instance server, or if, like, in general, there's too many people raiding at that time or something. But, yeah, we would be able to pop literally every single spirit at one time. And then we would have ones where we could only spawn 15 of them. And with the exact same comp and everything, and you would lag out. It was so fucking weird. I still don't know exactly how that was. It affected the race, too. We had to do like this. We had to spawn way more. Like, the easiest way to do Sire Denathrius P1 is to use all of your cooldowns and pop as many spirits as you can on the opener, and then like do as little as you can throughout the rest of the phase. That's the easiest, most consistent way to do it. But because of that, because our instance was lagging insane on the day we did it, on the day we like learned the phase, we had to do like way less spirits, and we wiped a decent amount in P1 to wiping later to spawning too many spirits with less cooldowns up. And that's just because we would lag if we didn't. I fucking look over at Echo Stream, bro. They're just popping everything. We have like, I'm pretty sure we had the exact same comp, and they were just like popping 30 like we could in farm later. It was like, man, what the fuck? If we spawned even like 75% of what they were doing, our entire game would explode. What is it? On Sire, we found that there was a limit to the number you could spawn. I forget the exact number, but if you went 1 over, the game froze. False. We have had that exact same freezing, lagging thing where the boss's abilities were desynced and everything. We've had that happen with 17 mobs and with over 40. With the exact same comp. It's just fucking random. It's like the instant server you get or something. It's really weird. What is it? I wouldn't say it's harder than any class, but saying Black Mage is brain dead is the most WoW player ass take in existence. No, Black Mage is actually like in Final Fantasy, that is the most WoW-like class. Like, a WoW caster plays closer to Black Mage than like any other job in that game. That's pretty accurate. The whole like determining what's harder or whatever is just people gonna be biased about their game. Max, when would the tier comp for classes come out? Wait, oh, for season 4? I'm probably not going to do one. I don't care about season 4. Max, on T-Swift, you guys had to relog all the time because of instant stuff, no? Yeah, that was like a random niche problem. Wait, I actually totally forgot about that. I'm unlocking the memory now. What exactly happened on Tindril? It was like the boss casted so many abilities that 4 hours into it was like 4 hours on the dot into pulls. The instance would lag out, the boss would lag out. Yeah, it was 3 hours. Every 3 hours we had to take a 30-minute break to let the instance soft reset with no one in the instance. because and there's a clip of it too. I don't know if anyone has it, but the boss would actually just like cast an ability and the entire raid would freeze, and the only way to fix it was a soft reset. They eventually fixed it a couple days later. Except Dratnos like hard baited us. Like, I hope Echo gave Dratnos a raise. He was like, dude, Liquid doesn't even know what they're doing. You can soft reset a Mythic raid instantly. You just got to be in group 6 and have someone who's not in the lockout go in, reset it. And it was like all this shit. We followed it to the word. And we ended up wasting an extra 30 minutes of progression because Dratnos fucking lied. He was hype. So just know that if anyone says you can hard reset a Mythic instance by doing some weird zone out tech or whatever, they're just totally fucking making it up. You just gotta wait 30 minutes with no one in the raid, and it resets. Are they testing raid this week? They haven't said anything about raid for season 4. What? They're just doing the old shit. Oop, getting a call. Why are you calling me? Let's play. Who is this? It's a scammer. Dude, I've been getting scam calls recently. Like in the last like week and a half. That's the second call where you know how you can tell, right? Like you get on the call and they're like, "Hey, this is like Microsoft support. I just want," and it's just like some shit like that, and you're just like, "Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna hang up." You get a ton. Yeah, I've never gotten any. I've gotten 2 in the last week or so. Max, what are your thoughts on Cody Rhodes finishing the story? I don't find WWE interesting at all. Never been into it. Max, I have a Waluigi prank caller. It's no caller ID and they play songs voiced over by Waluigi. I love it. Wait, you like look forward to it? It's probably one of your friends, bro. Max, what do you think of future Season 4 raids? Be a greatest hits raid where the community votes on bosses and you get to portal from boss to boss. I'm going to stop you right there. I'm not a fan of Season 4 existing in the future and robbing us of actual content. I just think unless it's like literally a pre-patch thing where it's like 2 months or a month before the expansion, it's like just like a little shakeup. I think this whole like Season 4 for 5 months thing is just an excuse, man. It's just not good enough. What, Max? Can we react to the Dune music being stolen from Dalaran WoW music? Well, that is a take. That is a take. He's actually right? Wait, what? Are you expecting the War Within to be absolutely banger because of this 5-month lull? I have pretty high hopes for War Within. I think once we see Alpha, I'll be more hyped, I think. Because, like, you just don't know a lot yet, right? Like, once you see Alpha, you're going to see a ton of, like, core design changes. Right? Like, they made DKs not have to stand their D&D anymore. There's something for another class I forget. And the only reason we know anything about that is because it conflicted with a hero talent release. And that was, And that's like the only reason. Like, there's probably a ton of shit like that. So like the class design stuff is what really interests me. And then I don't know. I mean, maybe seeing an early thing of delves to see if it could be cool. I don't know. Like, I think delves could be really cool. I think it's probably not made for someone like me. I think that's fine. But I would like it to be really cool. So like once we see what those look like, it would be nice, I guess. But what I'm really hyped for is the release schedule. So like, you know, right now, here's what we get. We get expansion. And then like 5 or 6 months go by. It's like 4 months. Actually, like it's like 5 months right now. Dragonflight was 5 months. It's like 5 months. And then it's a 0.1 patch. And then it's like 5 months. And then it's 0.2 patch. Okay, this is how Dragonflight went. And then it's... How long was 0.2? It came out in November, so it's going to be like 10 months from November almost. Probably, maybe it comes out in August or September, War Within. Like 10 months and then new X-Pack, right? So this is basically over the course of 2 full year cycle, right? So this is all like over the course of 2 years. So 3 raids over 2 years. The way it should be now, this is what I'm excited about. It should be this, right? We're all assuming that they're going to be 6-month expansions, which Blizzard has never, or 18 months, sorry. 18-month expansions. The reason why everyone thinks this is they have never said we are making 18-month expansions. They said that the War Within is going to conclude by 2030. And if you just do some quick math, the only way that is possible is if they do 18-month expansions. So, you know, that's just, people have deduced it from that. So what it should be now with the War Within, with the World Soul Saga in general, so for the next 6 years, it should look like this. Expansion. And then 5 to 6 months. And then it's going to be 0.1. Kind of same thing. 5 to 6 months. 0.2. And then it should be 5 to 6 months expansion. That's the only way that the time works out, right? So you're doing this much in just, you get 3 raids in, you know, 1 year, just like you do with Dragonflight, but you're going to get that 4th raid in this is an 18-month cycle. So right now we're getting 3 raids in 2 years. And obviously because the expansion means new raid, obviously, you're going to be getting 4 in 2 years. Almost 5. So I'm just glad about the increase in raid content. Now, we don't know this for sure. It's possible they do new raid, and then 0.2 is literally season 4, which would make me quit WoW instantly. Could be only 2 raids and expansion. Yeah, we don't really know yet. But this is just my assumption that, and this is my hope, is that this just means we're going to get more consistent. We're going to get 4 raids in a 2-year period for the next 6 years, which would be sick. Now, I don't believe they're going to miss on this. Where you're like, well, I don't trust Blizzard. Blizzard fucking sucks. I hate them. Okay, that's you, right? I don't think that Blizzard is going to miss deadlines. They're owned by a big old fucking corporation, right? Like, I don't think if there's going to miss anything, they're not going to miss deadlines as much as they could help it. Like, I remember hearing stories of Shadowlands' initial release date before it was pushed back. And that was like, if you heard from anyone internally, they're like, dude, this date makes no sense. And we're telling them we needed to delay. And they're just like, no. Like, they are going to fucking make you release it, even if you don't want to. And they actually did delay at that time, but it was because it was so extreme and it was still not ready. Right? If they're going to miss on anything, it's going to be quality. You're not going to end this next expansion in the War Within, and you're going to be like, oh, well, they didn't give us an 18-month expansion. You're going to get an 18-month expansion. What you might notice is that the quality will dwindle because they're having to push out so much content at such a faster pace. That might be true. But if that is your concern, it makes Season 4 this expansion for so long make a lot more sense, right? Do you guys think raid designers were making Plunderstorm were making this upcoming time running thing? Ain't no way. They're working on War Within shit, right? So they're trying to get ahead of this. The end of us and Dragonflight getting just like this right here. This thing. Us getting this. Guys, we got 3 full major patches within one year. Like one whole year. That is like fucking unheard of. Right? Like full raids, not mini raids or whatever. That's like a pretty tight timeline. Not to mention that these 5 months in between, also for the first time ever, had more content than they've ever had. There was a literal new spec released right here. There was like that Onyx Amulet entire zone and island, and actually pretty decent like little treasure game and stuff you could do in there. Like they're releasing more. They released more in this year in Dragonflight than probably ever. But then, you know, where you really feel it is this. Like this is where we're in right now. We're in this part. That feels like shit. Right? At least they're cooking a little bit with plunder and whatever time running is, but it's a very, very long 10 months. It's like they were just giving us so much content, then it's just over. And I believe the reason that exists is because they're gearing up to do this for the next 6 years. And they need to get ahead. Max, you forgot the 3 to 4 months of no content, just Plunderstorm? No, it's not. There's an arrow pointing to that. We're just not all the way through it yet. Max, I'm full on copium for Windwalker changes, but they have Rushing Jade Wind and Phalanx Stomp and hero talent, so it might be terminal. Yep, probably. Also, low-key, this is such bullshit. Consider the price of the expansions is the same for less time played. Oh, it definitely will be. Right? Like, they're going to charge you the same amount for an expansion that's only 18 months long than for 2 years. 100%. In fact, I bet above all else, that's probably why they're doing this. And what you can hope for is that, at least as a raider, you're just going to be getting more content because of that. Like, also, to be fair, though, when you're talking about price per expansion and you want that expansion to be super long, that's almost implying that, like, the best thing Blizzard could do would be, like, release an expansion, but then just have it last for 4 years. And you're like, man, that $60 I spent on that expansion was so worth. But it's like, those last couple years would fucking suck and there'd be no content. Right? Like, that would... You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's not like the last 6 months of a current expansion, there's a lot going on. There's literally nothing going on, and that will be replaced with new expansion, new content, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. Probably greedy corporation shit. I don't know if you guys remember this, but if you pre-order the Giga edition of War Within... Let me see if I can find it, actually. Shop. Warcraft... Recommended for you. No. Okay, show me the War Within. I already bought it, but... Here, War Within from $49.99. Why did it took me up here to nothing when I clicked that? That's hype. Yes. Show me this. Alright, so you can get the OP edition for $70, which I believe gives you... Where does it show you? Yeah, compare editions. Okay, you get the Extreme Edition. Where is it? There it is. 3 days early access to the War Within. Dude, I know it's just leveling, but it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. It gives me the heebie-jeebies bad. I just don't like that that's a thing. This part is good, though. The fact that you will, like, getting beta has been really hard. Like, when beta first comes out, it's super hard to get access to it, and people really want it. Having the ability to actually obtain it is good. Like, I think that's definitely a positive. The fact that they're even offering that at all. That's going to be a huge plus for a lot of people that were going to already buy this anyway. But this stinks. This fucking stinks. It doesn't mean early beta though, right? I think it does. So alpha will you? I mean, you can see on the Warcraft roadmap that like alpha is obviously coming out within the next 2 weeks, and then beta is coming after 10.2.7, which I think is in like June or July. So like, this is like a long way away. I imagine this will be right away. I mean, it'd be kind of insane if Blizzard offered beta access to War Within. Wait, it has a little thing. It says 4. Where is 4? Where have you hidden the little thing? Where's the hide? Beta access and early access dates subject to change. Minimum early access duration is... Wait, okay, the early access thing. Playtime is subject to possible outages and times differences. Certain endgame features, including Mythic Dungeons weekly quests, not available during early access. This is mostly about early access. So beta access and early access dates are subject to change. I just think it would be insane if they're like, beta's coming out, and they offered people the Epic Edition, and it just says beta access to War Within, and then they're like, you Epic Edition people, we'll get you in next month. Fucking, I mean, they paid $90, bro. Like, they're gonna get fucking owned if you can't log in when beta first comes out with that. They did the beta thing for MOP and the year-long sub promise, and you got in at the start. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Max, will you get the collector's edition? I think they just sent me one. Where are they? Actually, no, I don't think they sent me a Dragonflight one. Maybe they'll send me one of these. How do you find the collector's edition? Where is it? Compare the different editions. Heroic at where is the collector's? Oh, it's not out yet? Oh. Sometimes they send you these, so I'm just gonna hope they do that. Max, did you see that they want to squeeze down server numbers on Cata and potentially apply it to retail? Oh, that's really interesting. Where did you see that? That's like super interesting. Where is that? Did you make that up? Did you lie about that? A dev on Twitter talked about it. Like, I could see really, really good parts of that. Like, this is what New World was going for. Do you guys remember how bad New World queues were? The reason why is because they limited each server to like 2,000 people. And they did that for a very specific reason of they didn't want it to be bigger than that, smaller than that. Like, that's the amount of people that they thought curated the experience and made it feel like an MMO, you know? So, like, that has its positives. Obviously, the queue times were the massive negatives. But, like, can you imagine a world where you're, like, raiding with a guild and WoW servers are reduced to where, like, you couldn't make a character on them? Imagine you're, like, making an alt, but you can't actually add another character to that server. That would be the massive downside. Like, hey, I want to join this guild. Oh, wait, I can't. You know? I guess you could raid cross-realm now. Can't you be in someone's guild, or is it just cross-faction? You linked the dev's tweet. Alright, let's check it out. Wait, so the guy didn't make it up? Alright, so we've been looking at getting Wrath Classic Realms condensed down ahead of Cataclysm launch. Season of Discovery style Mega Realms. But while we're doing that, we realized we have an opportunity that we're honestly too afraid to take. Thoughts. Fairlina and Benediction are fake PvP realms. They're 99% one faction each, one horde, one alliance, and almost equal in player size. Agrend and I desperately want to clash the two realms together and turn on faction balancing. The problem is, a very real number of those people established on those realms never really wanted to deal with the reality of balanced PvP, and messing with that could cause many of them to leave. Bro, imagine playing on a PvP realm, which you don't have to, by the way. You can just play on a PvE realm. And imagine playing on a PvP and being like, I don't want to fight the enemy. I like it when we're the only people. Like, dude, what the fuck? I guess there is a small problem with that, right? I imagine, I don't play Classic. I imagine the PvE servers don't have a lot of people on them. So, like, if you want to raid with someone, you have to be over there. But, okay. Let's see what they say. Do you play on those realms? What do you think? This would be the spiciest Cata PvP realm to have ever existed. Now, if you're a news site, please, for the love of God. Oh, yeah. Fuck all aggregators, bro. Don't post Blizzard is forcing servers together for PvP. We can't actually act on this one as much as we'd like. It's just rocking the status quo too much, but I'm intrigued in your thoughts. What are the... Please merge PvE servers on you. Thank you. Okay, you said potentially applying it to retail, but... yeah, I don't know. They're trying to merge them into massive mega servers. Okay, was this the opposite of what you were saying? I thought you said that they were trying to squeeze server size. Aren't they doing the opposite of that? I was thinking more like New World style. Like, make the realm feel more alive because you know more of the people in it instead of some massive thing. But, like, I think realm pride just kind of died a long time ago. Oh, they meant squeeze the number of servers. Squeeze more people into... Okay, so I read it the other way. So the idea would be... I mean... Okay. Let's say right now, Illidan, Area 52, and Storm Rage merged. Would you guys feel like anything changed? I'd quit. No, just imagine, like, there's infinite sharding already, right? Just forget the problems with, like, the game exploding. I just mean, like, how it would feel in game. Wouldn't that be more Horde, though? Oh, World PvP in WoW is turbo dead. In retail WoW. My server has, like, 6 realms on it already, and it feels dead. I feel like sharding ruins the experience of an MMO. Yeah, I know some people feel that way. I think sharding also exists so the game can work. Like, if there's like 100 people on your screen, it'll give you a lot of performance issues. I'm definitely on the side of performance over anything. Is WoW even an MMO anymore, though? Yeah, yeah. I know what you're getting at, but yeah, yeah. If they're the same realm type, it's no big deal. Yeah, yeah, whatever. I mean, to be honest, I don't really care. Even in retail, this is just past something that I would care about. Interested in what a lot of the responses would be, though. Oh, it is just everyone is saying merge them. I feel like all these people are saying merge them, but also the second that, like, something gets released and no one can log in, or when you log in, the game is unplayable. Like, it's no surprise. In Dragonflight and Shadowlands launch, there was only, like, a couple servers that had any issues whatsoever. And it was and it was all the bigger servers. Who would have fucking guessed? You know? So, like, making massive servers also comes with performance issues big time. Servers are probably dead, Sword in the War Within, with talk of cross-realm guilds. Yeah, it hasn't really felt important in retail in a while. What in the furry did you repost on Twitter? Yeah, I don't know. I saw Aya tweet this thing earlier, and it was called "The European Mind Can't Comprehend This," so I clicked on it. And it's a group of furries, I guess, that are playing on cam for some reason. And it's for charity, but I don't know what charity. So, like, Is it like a furry charity?
You're dropping hers.
And then they killed the boss, and they're all like, "Yay! Yay! Yay! Let's go!" Right? So, yeah. Anyways, so I just tweeted, and I was like, it kind of was wild. Someone asked me about this the other day, and I learned it was from the fucking WoW aggregator Keemstar guy. So that's why I didn't see it. But yeah. Let's see. Hearing a furry yell drop the seed sent me into the fucking Shadow Realm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know. Yeah, not good. Not good. What, did I tweet anything else? Oh, yeah, this was kind of interesting. I saw this. Look at this picture. These were the total amount of changes just the tank specs got this expansion, with Paladin, Druid, and Demon Hunter nearing 100. Which, at least in Mythic Plus, the top 3 tanks in the expansion, this expansion, were definitely Demon Hunter, Druid, and Paladin. Paladin was like the fucking tank in Season 1, and is like one of the tanks now. Druid was the tank in Season 2, and Demon Hunter is the tank now. So it's like how many changes you got directly correlates to its power, which is why I asked someone to make this for DPS, because it did feel like this expansion that if your class was getting like a bunch of changes and like they let you know ahead of time, it was going to mean your class was going to be good, and that was like kind of predictable and boring. But this pretty accurately portrays their power. Oh, you guys aren't doing math. Yeah. This is buffs. This is nerfs, but it's not 54 plus 15 equals 88. The yellow number is the total amount of changes they've gotten. Talent tree, shifts, new talents, buffs, nerfs, whatever. So it includes shifts that are not necessarily a buff or a nerf. Yeah, I don't know. I stated this. Hopefully it's just growing pains for the new talent system, which will obviously be less of a process going forward. I think it's that. That's the hope, at least. I think that by the beginning of the War Within, every single class and spec will have a type of touch of paint like Druid, Demon Hunter, and Paladin got in this picture. I think every class will have similar numbers. Or very, very close. I don't think in the War Within you're going to see 10.1.5, 10.1.7 being like massive changes to these classes. I think this was something that came out in Dragonflight, and certainly as time goes on, that will happen less and less because they're going to be more complete. It just took a whole expansion to figure them out. Which we'll really know when Alpha comes out. We'll know where those are at. How many changes did Priest get? See, that's the thing. I wish I could see that for DPS. For tanks, it's very telling, though. I mean, it's true for everyone. Like if you... This expansion, if you got... people use the word rework a lot. When I think rework, I think of when they, like, took away Shadow Orbs from Shadow Priest back in the day. Like, they haven't done something that big in a long time. But basically what that meant was, like, they were just gonna have their talent trees kind of relooked at. Like, if you got that done, there was an extremely high chance you were going to be one of the best classes in the game. The entire God comp in 10.1.5 was classes that were reworked on that patch. Every single one of them. Mage, Druid, Paladin, and whatever it was. Actually, I don't know if Priest got a bunch of changes that patch or it was before. And then obviously Aug got created. But rogues going into this season, the rogue rework was a main patch point going into this season, and rogues were, I think at one point early in this season in the raid statistics, all 3 rogue specs were 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. But at the same time, I get it. Like, I understand. They, like, if they're announcing for them, if they're saying, okay, guys, tune in for 10.1.5 or whatever, or 10.2, we're going to be buffing rogues. They mention it in interviews. They put it on the slide. They tweet about it. Rogue rework. Bro, everyone who's played rogue is like, fuck, I might come back and check this shit out. It is in Blizzard's best interest to make sure that those classes are, like, playable, you know? Like, they want those people to feel... when you're playing a class and you come back just for something, that class being strong will make you appreciate it more than if that class was weak. But have they taken it too far? Is it too predictable that the classes that get reworked are going to be just super fucking nuts like they have been this whole expansion? I would definitely say yeah. That time you leaked Rogue rework. Oh, dude, I completely forgot about that until you typed that. That made me so mad. Bro, Ian mentioned a Rogue rework in an interview. Wowhead had an article titled Rumored Rogue Rework going into this thing. It was literally stated by Blizzard. And then I got a message from a Blizzardman, and they were like, hey, if you ever hear any inside information, we need you to not talk about it on stream. And I'm just like, okay, what are you talking... like, give me... what are you saying that I'm talking about? And they're like, the Rogue rework coming up. And I was so tilted. I, like, posted so many articles referencing it before I brought it up on stream, and they're like, okay, false alarm. Like, come on, guys. Everyone knows about that shit. All right. Max, hot take. I think them reusing / revamping old dungeons for Mythic Plus led to me getting bored a lot faster than before. Bored in what way? So you're saying that them bringing back dungeons is more boring than having the same dungeons for 2 years? Like, what part of it is boring? I've actually heard some takes of people saying that they liked having the same dungeons for 2 years because it took that long to, like, make them good. And, like, so basically over the course of 2 years, if you don't care about having something be new, the overall quality of the dungeons is higher because they have 2 years to work on them. Right? Like, that's a take that I understand. But boring? It is objectively more boring, right? To have the same things. Like, BFA dungeons ended up being really good. But, like, if you only saw each of those BFA dungeons for 1 season, right? Would they have been as good as they were? It's an interesting argument for sure. It's just about, like, I don't know. Mythic Plus... I just don't know how to, like, guess Mythic Plus players' opinions. Like, Mythic Plusers will just do the same dungeons over and over again for a whole season, and that just blows my fucking mind. So, like, if you were to tell me that Mythic Plusers actually like doing the same dungeons for 2 years, or Mythic Plusers, like, I don't know, like, wear pants on their head, I'd be like, I could fucking believe anything, man. Like, their brains are cooked. All right. Honestly, like Throne of the Tides rework sucks. We'll never see it in a playable form again. Oh yeah, Throne of the Tides was one of the better ones, I think. That dungeon was, like, too hard for a while, and I think probably still, like, compared to other key levels. But I don't think every dungeon... I think it's okay to have hard dungeons in a season and easier dungeons. I don't think they all need to be balanced the exact same thing, but that was... The Throne of the Tides rework was the one that I was sure was going to suck and ended up being one of the better ones. So definitely surprising, yeah. What is it? Season 4 might actually be okay for keyers? Yeah, dude, if you're a Mythic Pluser, you probably look at Season 4 roughly like any other season. Like, it's probably the same. Maybe it's a little worse because the dungeon pool isn't awesome. You know? But I mean, generally speaking, I think they seem pretty happy. So. Yeah, sadly, the Dragonflight dungeons were worse than Shadowlands and BFA dungeons as a whole. But that's what I'm saying, though. Is that because that is the only expansion that you listed, Dragonflight, where they know they only had to have those dungeons ready for one season, and then they were spending the rest of the time reworking old ones or bringing old ones back? I think it's probably directly correlated. Like, having the same dungeons for 2 years is going to mean that they're overall going to be higher quality, because you're not... Those people who spend their time doing that are just simply not working on new dungeons. They're working on those. Shadowlands had some stinkers. Yeah, I think Shadowlands is a little... I personally save most of my opinions about even, like, raids, or confident opinions about, like, raids and dungeons and stuff until a bit after the expansion is over. People usually have, like, a really, really crazy recency bias, and usually it's pretty negative. Like, for example, BFA dungeon set is way more fondly remembered now than it used to be. Bro, people fucking hated BFA throughout all of BFA, and even after Season 4, they're like, this expansion fucking sucks. Over the next year or two, you saw people's opinions slowly start being like, man, I kind of miss BFA. But, like, maybe that's a little unfair because you needed to see something worse to be like, I miss this thing. Like, nothing will make you remember BFA fondly quite like Covenants not being swappable, you know? But people are always like that. People always have a more rational opinion on a WoW expansion a few years removed for it. Everyone's too emotionally attached to it. What is it? Because people are memory holing Toldagor? Bro, people are memory holing all of BFA before Season 4, if we're being honest. I remember Dorky it was either during a podcast or after, and he was talking about, oh my god, I can't wait till Classic BFA. I'm going to log in and play fucking Mythic Plus. Like, bro, day one, you're going to have fucking Infested and no essences or corruption yet. Like, that was ass. That was really bad. Like, Season 3, Beguiling was honestly worse than Infested. And you didn't even have corruption yet. You had one ring Azerite armor in fucking Oldir, bro. Like, people's opinion on BFA is so heavily influenced by Season 4, which is fair in some ways, because Season 4 was the longest part of BFA, and Season 4 was fucking insane. Really, really good. Great seasonal affix. Corruption was great. Essences were figured out by that point. It was just a banger time, you know? But yeah, it makes people view all of BFA more positively because of that. Reaping was fine, but I mean, bro, when Reaping was out, you didn't even have fucking essences yet. Like, that was, you know, the game was just so bare. Actually, dude, BFA, bro, Reaping is the most over... The fact that Reaping ever gets put in the same sentence as something like Encrypted or Awakened is insane. Like, guys, I'm a DPS player. I love big AoE. Doing big AoE is fun. Shout out all dungeons having more big AoE with mobs not doing as much. I'm there. Bro, it is like Unholy DK's got like insane value and everyone got to AoE a little bit. As a seasonal affix, it is so much less interesting, cool, and good than the other ones, in my opinion. I think Reaping is like the fact that it's fine. It wasn't bad. Like, Reaping was good. Reaping was fun. But like putting it in the same sentence as was it Shrouded or Enshrouded? I don't know what it's called. Shrouding? Something like that. Shrouded, Awakened, or Encrypted. They were fucking way better. Max, thoughts on if Blizz brings back challenge modes? So are you referring to that potentially being this time running thing, or do you mean just in general? I don't think challenge modes really make sense in today's day and age. I think Mythic Plus have just replaced and are better than challenge modes in every way. You guys will see this in MoP too. Like, challenge modes are going to be fucking so easy in MoP Classic because people have just gotten a lot better since then. You've run a lot more dungeons. I mean, but like, I don't know. So if they had challenge modes now, all it would be is dungeons on a timer, and you're locked to heroic dungeon item level from the beginning of the expansion, and you just try to complete that within a timer. It's just Mythic Plus with more hoops and steps and a reward at the end. I mean, you could just tie that to anything in Mythic Plus and it would be the same thing. And really, challenge modes weren't really anything special compared to Mythic Plus. It was just the rewards that came with them. But then if the rewards were great, judging off of Plunderstorm recently, people would complain about that, right? Because then they felt like they had to do it. Everyone needs all rewards. All rewards must be attainable. I need everything. What if they took 6 tier piece slots and let us choose any combination of tier sets from season 1 to 3? Bro, that is my exact take. There's no way you came into my stream and asked me my opinion on my take. Come on, man. Alright, I want to see something the opposite of those kind of time trial dungeons. Something Mythic Raid in terms of mechanics and boss kill times, but as a 5-man. Oh, I see. So it's like... So what you'd want to see instead of challenge mode is like... Not timed, but like a mythic dungeon. But a true mythic dungeon. Like, you and your 5 friends are going to go in and you have to like figure out these bosses and they're actually fucking hard. Like a little mini 5-man raid almost. Like group Mage Tower is a good way to look at it, yeah. Like something like that. That could definitely go hard as fuck if they did it right. That is a good idea. That would be crazy fun. What would be the expected timeline to finish that, though? I don't know. In my mind, it would just be like Mage Tower, and how long it took you to do Mage Tower totally depended on how good you were, and people loved that, right? Group Mage Tower would make casuals go apeshit? You'd think so, and maybe it's a different time, because the Mage Tower came out in 2017, I think? Early 2017? But fucking casuals love the Mage Tower. That's something they wish they made more of. Actually, it was one of the universally liked things they made in this game. But I think you're right. In today's day and age, I could definitely see them just doing Mage Tower or Group Mage Tower again, which would be what this idea is, and then people not want to watch it. Or not want to do it because it's too hard and they just want the rewards and they don't want to have to work for rewards. Can definitely see that. Ooh, that's a good point. How do you think a summer X-Pack release will feel in 2026? I haven't even thought about that. We've been getting, like, later in the year expansion releases for fucking ever, right? But not... The War Within should come out in, like, August or September, probably. But you're right. With an 18-month expansion, we're going to be getting the next part of the World Soul Saga, like... middle of the year. Bro, that shit's... Bro, the last expansion in 2028 is going to be coming out in, like, January. That's so weird. What is it? They will delay? Guys, I'm telling you. I mean, I could be wrong. But in, like, corporate America where this shit is going down, just picked up by Microsoft, if there's anything they're going to fuck up on this World Soul Saga, it's not going to be their release schedule. Even if the game is fucking dog shit and not ready, they will release it on time. Well, the issue will be quality. Max, you gotta fix that smoke detector. You'll never detect the smoke without a fresh battery in it. Yeah, I know. I actually found where the smoke detector was, too. Like, it was really hard to find. So, like, I never really go into my guest room, usually. Let me try to draw this. Alright, so, like, right outside, like, this is my office, right? That's where I'm at. And then right outside of my office is, like, a hallway. And then my hallway goes like this. And then there's a... like a guest room over here, right? All right, and then here's like a little door, the door here, a little door here, a little door here, and there's actually, this goes out into like my big area. Okay, so there is a smoke detector here on this ceiling, and that's where I thought this noise was coming from. So I got on a fucking ladder, and I like put my head right next to this thing, and the beep was not coming from it. So I'm like, where the fuck is this coming from? And there's like some other shit on the wall. And then I randomly went into my guest room the other day, and I heard it real loud. And I looked, and there's a smoke detector in this room too. So it's that one. And I'm here right now. So that's where the sound's coming from. So I opened the thing up, and I looked at the battery thing, and I looked online. I'm like, what kind of batteries do smoke detectors take? And it was like just a couple AA's. And I was like, fuck yeah, I got some of those. And then I went and twisted this little bitch off the wall, and it needs some giga old ancient battery. Yeah, 9 volt, which like we don't have those at all. So whenever it'll get changed as soon as I get around to it'll change as soon as I get around to finding a 9 volt battery. You know? Why did Max draw Plato's cave allegory? Bro, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, I forgot I have a sync today. I might have to end my stream in like 30 minutes. But we can yap until then. Oh, never mind. Someone else canceled. Wait, let me check. All right, we're good. What is it? React to Czar reacting to RuneScape guy tries WoW. I'll probably just react to the RuneScape guy tries WoW and not, I don't know why I would react to a reaction. Let me see if that thing's my vibe, though. There's like certain stuff that's not my vibe. Like you guys keep recommending me a couple of YouTubers to watch with WoW stuff that's like just totally not. I can't watch the whole thing. There's some of them. What is there a guy named like Pliff or something? What's it's like a he's like a MMO creator. Pint? Yeah, I think it's Pint. I think it's this person.
Final Fan.
I remember people wanting me to watch this person's videos, and they were like watching my stream, and they're like, Max, you have to watch this. It's the best video. And I couldn't even make it like 10 seconds into this video. And this is when I was doing Final Fantasy content. I think they did some WoW stuff too. Yeah, I can't. It's like it's like an editing style thing, I think, or something like that. They mean Jimmy's video? Jimmy. J1me.
RuneScape.
So this guy's a what? A RuneScape? Playing a 2001 medieval clicking game a certain way and also playing other games I like. Okay, so he's a RuneScape creator. Yeah, I think I clicked on this one time. It looks, as you can see, I didn't really watch the whole thing. I never played WoW, so I tried all of them a lot. All right, you guys know me. Am I going to find this interesting or not? I could see why a lot of people have watched it. Like, obviously, no, you're not going to find it interesting. No, probably not. No, not your bag. Okay, then we're just going to move out. Like, I can see why this and reactions to this, because, like, what gets views in the WoW section on YouTube? Hating on WoW. So, like, all the people who, like, get views hating on WoW probably reacted to it, and they're like, you're right, fucking WoW does suck, and instant 500,000 viewers. Or is it, even if it's pretty real, you know, I don't know. Maybe we watch, like, a minute or two of it. It's not hating on WoW, it's just casual shit. Wait, is this guy... Oh, that's actually really interesting. Wouldn't a RuneScape player want to, like, get to endgame? I don't know, like, what RuneScape content they make, but... Actually, no, RuneScape kind of is, like, a leveling simulator. So, like, if you played retail WoW, you're definitely not going to get a lot of the leveling experience. He doesn't do endgame. I feel like if you don't do endgame, retail WoW fucking sucks. Like, you would just play Classic instead. That's why they both exist on the sub. Wait, what is it? Rax's video on content creators wanting games to fail is actually really video. I like the way you put that. Wait, Rax content creators game fail. Let's see if it shows up. Content creators want games to fail? Question mark? Wait, what could this possibly be about? I love Rax's videos, but I wonder what's even like the... Is this just a comment on the, like, all the viewership surrounding any game is just negative stuff, and that is the argument, and that's like kind of what this is alluding to? People accused him of dooming D4 for money. Oh, so this is him defending himself. What is it? The guy below him turned a 19-minute react into 1 hour? Yeah, that's a fucking special. That's a special. That's what reaction content is, man. Easy content. Oh, Asvin only did 45 minutes. That's insane. Did I like Rax's content? Rax blocked me for a pedestrian joke. Cupcake channel. I'm gonna guess. I don't know Rax at all, but he seems like a pretty down-to-earth guy. I'm gonna guess that your comment was not a pedestrian joke. And also the fact that you called him a cupcake channel tells me a lot. Max is actually the best at it, though. He's watched 0 videos and generated 20 minutes of content. These YouTubers are living in the past. Fucking facts, bro. Latest skill-capped PvP video is like seeing Potty C defensive creep takes through the mirror dimension. Wait, what? Skill-capped... What is skill-capped TV? Is it this? Skill-capped WoW PvP?
Some of us...
What went wrong with Dragonflight PvP? Oh, that's actually kind of interesting. I don't really give a fuck about PvP, but this might give us some takes. I mean, we kind of talked about this with Venruki on the bro, is Swifty that jacked? Yeah? Holy fuck. They kind of blame PvE. Oh, that's interesting.
Right now, World of Warcraft has more players than it did in Legion. Dragonflight has offered more content than ever before, while fixing some of the biggest issues from previous expansions. But if WoW is doing so well, why does PvP suddenly feel so dead? Of course, the
Because it fucking stinks!
player base is
Amen.
now fractured, more than ever. But you could join a solo shuffle queue right now and watch this entire video before getting a pop. And even if you're an experienced player, Arena can feel overwhelming. We can't even imagine what it feels like to be a new player in 2024. Add-ons have become part of the metagame itself, and
Bro, I would almost make the argument that add-ons or weak auras in general have had a more negative effect on PvP than even PvE. Like what the fuck is this? Like, what happened to the game I love? Having to just, like, remember shit.
classes now have more damage, mobility, and micro CC than any other
Dude, this is like a... This fucking UI is insane.
point in WoW's history. How did this happen? And more importantly, what can we do to fix it? This video is going to focus on Solo Shuffle, which has become the most popular PvP mode by far, but not without a few consequences. From class balance to queue times, incentives, and more, Solo Shuffle might have changed PvP forever, and some players are
I think that Solo Shuffle is still a great thing, though, because I think Venruki knows everything, and Venruki said that Solo Shuffle owns, so I believe it.
scared for the future. But we think there are a few simple solutions that already exist in the game itself that could make PvP flourish in the war within. So join us as we take a deeper dive into class design in Dragonflight and some of the ways PvP could be improved for the future. Everywhere you look, you will...
Wait, what you said? For those interested, someone in Rax's chat said that Zaryu is dreamy, and I said, too bad he's married lil ho, and then you got banned. Okay, that is kind of a... That is kind of a... interesting ban, for sure.
We'll see one basic complaint about PvP. Arena is too overwhelming, which makes add-ons practically required. Oh yeah, and queue times are long, but more on that later. Anyway, let's be honest, Arena does feel hard these days, and it's hard to pinpoint why. But add-ons have become one solution. This is what Sea-Doo's UI looked like during Warlords of Draenor. And this is what his UI looks like now. Looked like during...
Wait, people had the fucking weak aura tech in Warlords of Draenor? That literally looks like the mess weak aura. That's Omni CD for his own parties. Oh, so that's like he's playing with Bean and him, so you're seeing that's his win shear. That's interesting. I thought back in WoD none of the PvPers used any add-ons because you couldn't actually... The reason why wasn't because they were like morally against them. It was because if you had to go to a PvP LAN, no add-ons were allowed on those computers, so why would you practice with something that you couldn't use in competition? That was why they didn't use them. Oh, Omni CD specifically was allowed. Wasn't it initially it was none? Maybe Omni CD was allowed eventually. Oh, either way. The reason why they didn't use other add-ons was because of that. But
Warlords of Draenor. And this is what his UI looks like now.
yeah, it looks... Yeah, I guess the difference is these Omni CDs are for, I think, in a lot of cases, they're for like the other team stuff. It's like helping tracking ICDs and cooldowns of your opponents. Okay. Now you just listen to sounds. Yeah, the sounds, has that been a big thing in PvP this season? Because that ramped insane from Season 2 to Season 3 in PvE. Like, there were barely any text, like, Dispel, Shadow Meld. Like, there was 10 times less of those in Season 2. In Season 3, people hard committed to the little voice talking to you.
It seems like half of his screen is covered with weak auras, cooldown trackers, nameplates, and more. Without a doubt, add-ons have become infinitely more complex in the past 3 expansions, turning a game that is supposed to feel alive and immersive into your grandma's Internet Explorer back in 2007. Solo Shuffle
Wait, hold up.
immersive into your grandma...
Damn, are those all, like, bars at the top of your, Holy shit. Come on, Graham. Come on, Graham. What are you doing?
Internet Explorer back in 2007. Solo Shuffle is just one reason why UIs got to this point. Without communication, you need a million different alerts letting you know what's going on. But we think the issue is multiple layers deep. The problem isn't Solo Shuffle alone, but also class design, and more specifically, power creep. As WoW gets older and more complex, classes get updated and start to become way more complicated every single expansion. This isn't just unique to WoW, and happens in almost every single game. PvP has seen power creep in multiple places, and mobility is the most obvious. Ever since the introduction of Demon Hunters in Legion, there's been an arms race in the way characters move. This same expansion is when Paladins would get Divine Steed.
Yeah, it's why prunes happen, because like you just simply can't have the game be the same as it was in 2014, like when, you know, Mop was fucking sick, and or I think that was actually when WoD released, or like 2013 or whatever. Like, you just can't release the same game. Hearthstone, I enjoyed the beginning of Hearthstone more than I ever did when I went back and played it, because like the power creep is just insane, but power creep has to happen. You can't just keep making that simple attrition card game and it won't continue like that, right? You have to innovate and create. So like, I understand why they did that, and it's gonna happen to like pretty much any game that's been out for a super long period of time. Yeah, if you haven't paid attention to current Hearthstone, it is fucking wild.
And some melee,
but you can't go back. Like, I mean, if you just made it like an attrition thing, it would just be horrible.
Would even get extended range on their attacks. Fast forward to Dragonflight, and a spec like Outlaw Rogue has Shadow Step, Grappling Hook, Sprint.
Yep, that was a new talent tree problem.
Every attack, and even an attack.
This is the biggest problem with current talent trees, is that they just gave classes too many things to potentially have it, and mobilities and defensives were utility, mobility, defensives. Every class just gained a bunch of those, and it muddied the game up a lot.
Charges them to their target. The best part, almost all of this can have its cooldown lowered just by spending combo points. In fact, mobility is so ridiculous that a simple macro can make it look like rogues are cheating. Just watch this player after they Shadow Step Venruki. In case you missed it, here it is again.
That's fucking
the rogue
insane.
Kicks and then
yeah, so what he does is like there's a macro that has kick, and it's like an at player or an at cursor macro, but because the Shadow Step happens before the grapple, but when you press the macro, it chooses your cursor position. It will step to the person, kick them, and then will grapple right back to where you were.
Instantly.
Look at this right now.
Missed it, here it is again. The rogue kicks and then instantly hooks back, having nearly 100% uptime while landing CC. Next
Fucking
expansion,
insane.
Death Knights will be getting their own version of Divine Steed, allowing them to mount in combat. Right now, Melee is winning the race, but we've seen glimpses of what can happen when casters get their own power creep.
Oh, I never thought about that in
Why should you care
PvP.
about character movement? As Core 8 Gaming pointed out, any buff to mobility is a buff to the entire toolkit. It means doing better damage since you have an easier time sticking on target, and this even applies to healers. You will do more healing if you have more movement. Being faster means it's easier to cross the map and even avoid CC. Obviously, moving faster is also a buff to survivability because it's harder to actually get hit. If you are a new player trying to pick up a caster, the melee mobility creep is going to be a nightmare. It will feel like you never have the chance to actually get away. Even if you manage to get a few seconds of breathing room, it probably won't last for long, and now you need to deal with the next power creep. Micro
Defensives.
CC. This is something
interesting.
many players misunderstand.
Yeah, micro CC too.
Micro CC is not Polymorph, Cyclone, Sap, or even Hammer of Justice. No, we're talking about something else. Micro CC is the smaller, shorter CC that is just there to add more disruption. It's not Sap, but Gouge. It's not the 6-second freezing trap. No, that's the CC. The Micro CC is the 3-second silence from Spider Venom. It's the fact that even if a monk misses their kick, they can still ring a piece to stop a cast. The metagame in 2024 is dictated by smaller micro disruptions in gameplay. Everyone's going.
1 second. Max, relating to the Shadow Step, kick, and grapple macro, what are your thoughts on off GCD abilities sharing a second GCD between them? That sounds really bad. I think just fix the macro thing and don't do that. That would be really annoying, yeah. That's actually kind of what Final Fantasy is, actually. Like, so many people don't understand what Final Fantasy combat is because they hear that it has like a 2.5 second GCD, and you're like, that sounds horrible. And if all you ever did was just hit a button on a 2.5 second GCD, that would be horrible. But like, you weave abilities in between your GCDs that are off GCD, and they basically do have their own GCD because they're tied to animations. Like, you can't press them all at the same time because they have an animation lock to them. So so Final Fantasy is basically WoW if off GCD abilities had their own GCD between them.
Arenas to make sure the enemy team can't control their character. And it's gotten to the point where even a spell like Intimidating Shout was used as a stun effect, with Absterge getting controlled for almost 3 seconds by a fear while getting trained, eventually leading to elimination from the AWC.
Oh man, That's so
Before the
tilting.
talent tree revamp, many CC spells used to share talent slots,
Yep.
but now many of these choices are available all at once.
Yep.
In Dragonflight, micro CC is what wins games.
Yep.
You're never 3-2-1ing your spells in a coordinated effort, but instead just denying your opponent from playing
Like,
the
just
game.
go back and look at that.
Many
Like,
of
that's
these
insane.
choices are-
Like, this is also what's happened with defensives as well, but... Like, these are... I mean, you can solve this instantly, though. You can just simply make them a choice node again. Like, the fact that all three are available from that same tree as before... Like, that... Why? Like, that just... You can make really good class trees. That just seems like a mistake. If you apply that to every other class... This just makes the game the way it is now, right?
Control spells in the game, mages don't really have any micro CC, which means spending most games blinking backwards and being a spectator, hoping their demon hunter will win the game. Patch 10.1 included nerfs to the duration
PV
of
ears were mauled. There is a massive issue at the moment with micro CC in PvE and with defensives in PvE for sure. Movement is not as big of a deal in PvE, but micro CC and or just in general, just stops. If like the majority of the stops in this game were gone and the majority of the defensives in this game were gone, PvE would be better than it is right now.
almost every CC in the game, which unintentionally shifted the balance in favor of micro CC. What's the point in overextending for a 6-second polymorph while losing out on damage when your infinite mobility rogue could just gouge at almost 0 damage loss? We will talk about damage in a second, but because burst DPS is so high, there isn't a need for clean setups. As long as you can just prevent someone from controlling their character, it doesn't matter how sloppy you play. Micro CC is also the reason why precog exists in the first place. With mobility creep and almost every class having an interrupt, there aren't many windows to actually cast. Watch me try and land a single Cyclone on a Demon Hunter who won't even use their kick. Between 2 stuns, an Incap, Glimpse, and Shadow Meld, it's not even possible to cast a single time without losing most of my HP. Because of this, most casters have the majority of their damage coming from instant cast spells. And it's no surprise that specs with the best instant cast damage are the ones who gravitate towards the S tier. The power creep of mobility and micro...
Max, that's a bold take. That stuff is needed in PvE for the excessive amount of necessary cast stops in Mythic Plus specifically. You've identified the problem, you just haven't connected them. So the reason that there are that many necessary stops in PvE and in Mythic Plus is because all these things exist, and it creates imbalance between the classes. Obviously, if you remove a lot of those stops, you can also remove that, which is something that pretty much any Mythic Pluser would tell you has gotten out of control.
CC might seem where this story ends, but we're not finished yet. Weak auras has become ubiquitous in PvP starting in Shadowlands, because during the early expansion, burst damage was at its peak. With a buff to the crit modifier, players were getting one-shot like never before, and even though crit peak, with a buff
Oh my god, what happened to this guy? Look at this warrior right now.
to the crit modifier, players were getting one-shot
You're
like
done.
never before. And even though crit damage would be nerfed in early Dragonflight, there was another dramatic shift in class design that had been boiling over in the background. As now not only was burst damage high, but now every player was taking damage at once. This was a trend that had started in Legion. Class design was moving away from single target abilities in favor of damage that would automatically cleave. Classes like mages were abandoning CC altogether in order to just AoE down every player at once. Why waste time casting Polymorph on the healer when you can just press Arcane Barrage to wipe out the whole team? Combine this with micro CC and you have a metagame based around splash damage, especially with the introduction of Evoker, whose signature ability is a mechanic borrowed directly from a raid boss. In the past, Frost DK was defined by its AoE setups, getting a huge damage spike with Pillar of Frost and then cleaving everyone down at once. But now, it feels like most classes can do the same thing. Just crank up the damage meters and toss in a few stuns, and suddenly you've learned how to PvP. So now in Dragonflight, we have...
Is this a good PvP take, by the way? Like would a PvPer listen to this and be like, yes, preach, king, amen? Yes? Okay.
a metagame defined by
here.
power creep with mobility, micro CC, and AoE damage. Classes and comps that once felt unique have converged into a single win condition, which is to simply do as much damage as possible, abusing a million different...
Dude, this is crazy. He hasn't talked about defensives yet. Is that not as big of an issue in PvP as I thought? Like, the reason that the game is so bursty in PvE is because every class has 5 defensives, or some classes have 5 defensives. Like, if every class went back to having like 2 or 3, the game doesn't need to be that bursty because, you know, we've talked about this a million times. There's still half the
Modifiers
video
to
left.
inflate the
Yeah, but
damage
like, bro, at least for PvE, it's like the main point. I guess in PvP, it's not as
single
important.
spell. There's less of a need for precise setups and calculated play, and more often than not, the only thing that matters is how much damage you can do and how quickly you can respond to a weak aura. At the time of writing this video, one of the most dominant comps on the 3v3 ladder is Ret Paladin, Arms Warrior, and Fistweaver Monk. It dominates with pure numbers, overwhelming healers with raw damage and micro CC. And that's mostly how the average solo shuffle game is played, since many classes simply have enough damage to kill through healing, especially during dampening. These days, balance is less about mechanics and more about numbers. How much DPS can you do and how little will you take? So, how did we get to this point in class design? In WoW, there's been a growing tension between class balance and class identity. In the past, everyone was defined by unique mechanics. Rogues had their stuns, hunters had their pets, and Frosty K's still kinda sucked. Having a unique class identity is cool and all, but it doesn't take long to realize that some mechanics are really nice to have, especially in PvP. Warriors used to be defined by Mortal Strike, and were one of the few classes to actually have this mechanic, but as it turns out...
This is the exact argument I had about Hearthstone when it had gone on for years. It was like, dude, this used to be the class where you did this. This was like the control class, and this was the class where you went face and stuff like that. And it was just so much simpler. And then it changed over time, and you're like, man, I missed that. And they came out with Hearthstone Classic, and then I played the shit out of that. But you also realize that the decisions they made as a game developer made sense to get to that point. Like, you couldn't just keep having like Mortal Strike be the only thing from Warriors, and that's just the same thing for 13 years. Like, you have to just give them more. Yeah, I know they removed Hearthstone Classic. It kind of sucks. It's like, I understand how it got to that point. I don't think it, at least in my opinion,
Reducing healing...
because like people just complain over time, like, oh, we only have Mortal Strike when this class has this and this, and it just keeps growing.
PvP is pretty damn good. So good that these days almost every single melee in the game has Mortal Strike. And even Warlocks have it too, but it gets even more ridiculous. Demon Hunter have a Mortal Strike. 2 stuns. One of them is AoE, by the way. What more? Oh yeah, an instant cast Polymorph or Cyclone, an AoE Fear, a magic dispel for some reason, and they basically have speed hacks. Demon Hunter is a pretty extreme example, but you get the point. Mechanics that were once unique are now passed around like a joint at a Snoop Dogg concert. This is known as homogenization, which causes classes to lose their identity over time in the sake of game balance. There is a private server called Project Ascension where any player can use any ability. In this game, there are no classes. Obviously, we're not at this point, but you can start to see the extreme end of homogenization. It might seem cool, but it takes...
Wait, how does the fucking server work? You can use... Wait, so like you can just get literally any spell from any class? It's kind of interesting.
But you can start to see the extreme end of homogenization.
It's like building your own character. No classes, you roll for abilities.
Cool, but it takes away the identity of playing a unique class. The cool part about playing a rogue is being a tactician, but these days more and more specs are becoming brawlers, even sub-rogues, who at one point were topping damage with Rupture, all while tab targeting to kill the entire team. Now, we don't want to go pointing fingers, but PvE and especially Mythic Plus were a big part of homogenization. Mythic Plus is by far the most popular game mode in Season 3, with almost 300,000 runs per day, compared to Solo Shuffle, which doesn't even scrape that amount per week. The Mythic Plus player base is almost 10 times the size of PvP.
Oh yeah.
So it kind of makes sense what direction Blizzard might lean to when figuring out class design. To do big pulls in Mythic Plus, you need your group, and Blizzard might lean...
And they're right in doing that. I mean, if you're a game company and you're creating the game with this person in mind instead of all these people, you are just making a bad decision, not only for the health of your game and the quality of your game, but also for like your money. Everything's bad, right?
When figuring out class design. To do big pulls in Mythic Plus, you need your group to quickly dodge mechanics, all while having enough kicks and CCs to stop multiple casts in a row. Mobility and lots of CC. This sounds familiar. Mythic Plus also has DPS checks every few minutes, with pressure points based around big pulls and boss timers, which means you need big burst damage in very specific moments, and on Trash, you're going to need to spam your AoE stops while pumping out as much AoE damage as possible. Okay, so lots of CC, high mobility, cleavy burst damage.
Yeah, but that's... This is a chicken before the egg thing. Those things exist like that because of how many buttons you have. If PvE had less buttons, you would not see as much of the need for all of those things. Also, the burst thing isn't really like Classes in Mythic Plus that have burst are good, but you just want classes that have consistent damage in every pack. Like if your overall damage was 400k and someone else's was 400k and yours was a straight line and the other person's was like really, really big, it's kind of like dungeon dependent, but that person overall's everything. You'd still do the same on your trash pull. You would do the same at the beginning versus the end.
Geez, this really reminds me of something else. Oh yeah, those bosses in Mythic Plus have these big one-shots. That means every class needs to have strong defensives. And if they die without using them, well, that's their healer's fault. I wonder where I've heard this all before. We don't think it's a massive conspiracy to say PvE might have had a massive effect on class identity and class balance. Because it's no accident that the...
Well, probably yes in general, because there's more PvE people that are doing that, but I don't think the stop thing as to... maybe you could make the same argument for PvP, but like PvEers don't want that, and they did not create like all these stops, and then they gave us create all these things that need to be stopped, and then they gave us a bunch of things to deal with that. Those things kind of grew in tandem over the years as the game got more of them. They grew together, and we also don't want that, and have vocally said want that.
Mobility and AoE damage shift we saw in Legion was a direct result of a new game mode that just happened to be released at that time, where dungeons need to be cleared as fast as possible by pulling multiple mobs at once. And now these power creeps have fully spilled over into PvP, becoming even more amplified thanks to Solo Shuffle, a game mode where raw damage reigns supreme. The add-on problem that many people talk about wouldn't be such an issue if the game weren't so power crept. You wouldn't need 10 different alerts letting you know the enemy team popped their Giga AoE offensive. Now, here's where things get...
When he says power crept, I'm assuming he means burst. Because, like, he's saying if there's just, like, a much longer time to kill, then, like, your use and the amount of buttons you have doesn't matter as much as he's saying because of how bursty it is. Because power creep is a little different than that. Yeah, I don't know.
Alerts letting you know the enemy team popped their Giga AoE offensive. Now, here's where things get a bit touchy. There's a lot of people who enjoy Solo Shuffle for a few good reasons. Let's face it, the WoW community is getting older and some of us have busy lives. Maybe our friends have moved on from WoW and we
Bro,
don't...
Solo Shuffle looks so fucking cool. I would love to have something like that in Mythic Plus.
Want to sit in
I would, like, exclusively play that for Mythic Plus.
For many players, Solo Shuffle is really the only way to participate in ranked PvP. It's clear that many players want to just press play and get immediately into the action. Other players are more pessimistic, arguing that Solo Shuffle is literally killing PvP. One thing they will say is that Solo Shuffle gameplay doesn't feel like real arena. To them, Solo Shuffle is the fast food of PvP. It's addicting and gives you what you instantly want, but maybe it's not the healthiest. And right now, it's the only thing people want to eat. There's a growing sentiment that arena has started...
And that's just everything. Like, look at TikTok, right? That's just how content is consumed
to
nowadays.
feel more like PvE. In Solo Shuffle, where you can't really coordinate crowd control or even damage itself, it makes sense that simply cleaving the enemy team down and stopping casts like Mythic Plus would become the emerging playstyle. But this has even crept into 3v3 itself, where even a comp like RMP can just win with raw numbers. But with the convenience of Solo Shuffle, participation in other brackets has gone down dramatically. RBGs are especially dire, with daily games sometimes being less than 200. And with the potential introduction of
200 across both NA and EU, that's fucking insane. That's so low, but not surprising. Dude, RBGs are so fun when you're playing with your friends and you're winning. Like, it's like as fun as anything else in WoW. And it's so bad when you're losing and you're not playing with your friends.
BG Blitz as a rated mode, RBG participation could become entirely extinct in the future. Currently, arena rewards and other brackets are becoming harder and harder to get. Since participation is a big factor in MMR, less people playing means less rating inflation, and less inflation means a confusing sense of progression from season to season. Vinruki recently tweeted that his Shaman is 600 rating lower than it was in Season 1, despite the fact that he feels better playing the spec. This confusing sense of progression kills motivation for many players and keeps them more attached to a single bracket. So how can we get people to play other brackets more without completely making Solo Shuffle obsolete? Surely there has got to be a system that encourages people to participate in PvP while also attracting new players. If there's one thing
What? Tell me what it is. He's like, The trading post? Bro, okay, I'll stop him right there. So, whenever you talk to PvPers, they're going to tell you when their most recent time was that they just fucking loved PvP. They're going to, at least what I've heard a lot is Shadowlands Season 1. And then you, like, break that down, and it's because they were absolutely fucking slaughtering PvEers who felt like they had to PvP for rewards. And I could totally see that being the same thing. They're like, what'll get new players into PvP? Bro, none of those players who are going to PvP with the trading post are going to be staying in PvP. You all just want to fucking slaughter them. Which also is hype. I mean, fucking slaughter noobs for sure, but...
able to play innovation for just players and keeps them more attached
what could
to
it
a
be?
single bracket. So how can we get people to play other brackets more?
How can we get some noobs to play in PvP so we can fucking slaughter them?
Without completely making solo shuffle obsolete? Surely there has got to be a system that encourages people to participate in PvP while also attracting new...
Well, what is he? I don't even okay, besides the whole bit about the, like, slaughtering people, like, I don't even understand what he's suggesting here. Like, you make it to where you have to PvP to get your traders tenders rewards? Like, what? That, like, goes against the whole...
players. If there's one thing players love more than standing around Elwyn, it's looking cool while doing it. I mean, that's why we play the game, right? We know for a fact that cosmetics are highly coveted rewards for
more
many players.
Rewards?
And
bro, what did you just... Okay, maybe he's bringing it into Plunderstorm right now, but are you going to talk about how Plunderstorm had really sick rewards and was actually made really, really well, but people just hate PvP so much that they, like, it was the bane of their existence, feeling like they had to do this because it had rewards whatsoever? Wouldn't PvP be the exact same thing?
Apparently, some people are willing to play Fortnite WoW Edition just to get a pirate transmog.
And fucking hate their lives. And like... hate, like, the strongest hate you've ever seen.
Specific to PvP seems like an obvious way to motivate participation in other brackets. Imagine a log that sent you to win 2v2, 3v3, or RBGs, resetting every month with new rewards. These rewards could be anything.
Plunderstorm had dog-ass transmog rewards. None of it was good. Bro, you would think so? You would think so, right? But then why the fuck were people that mad, feeling like they had to do it to get those rewards?
Like black market auction house containers. They could even be old elite sets, but probably reskinned.
Parrot
Healers
mount?
could even get their own
Okay, so the rewards weren't bad then.
unique rewards, like bonus black market containers, or a discount code for therapy, and a 2-week vacation to get away from every demon hunter. Anything that gets more healers participating means faster queue times for everyone else. The goal is to make sure players can enjoy everything WoW has to offer by offering incentives to play multiple brackets. As long as new players have a motivating reason to engage in PvP,
Why is...
offering incentives to play multiple brackets. As long as new players have a...
Why is the PvP guy slightly bigger than all of the other guys? Oh no, these guys are the same size. Are these puny Mythic Plusers? Not warriors? Not combatants?
motivating reason to engage in PvP, and as long as we can make sure everyone is trying every bracket,
oh, no,
PvP
he's the big
will
man.
naturally be in a better place. With more players,
how do we make PvP better?
Brackets. As long as new players have a
we just simply take all of the people who are Mythic Plusers and make them do this instead.
Motivating reason to engage in PvP, and as long as we can make sure everyone is trying every bracket, PvP will naturally be in a better place. With more players, there could be a greater incentive to rethink class design. We have to admit that Mythic Plus isn't going anywhere, and designers will probably prioritize it over PvP for the time being. But maybe there's a solution here too. Even though the talent trees were meant to be evergreen systems, maybe it's time for PvP and PvE to finally have completely different talent trees.
Fucking based. So true. So true. So true. Fucking get me in there.
Systems. Maybe it's time for PvP and PvE to finally have completely different talent trees. Some classes need dramatic reworks in PvP. Frost Mage is just one example. It's suffering from button bloat, with not one, not two, but 3 different and easy to counter burst spells. To fix this, the entire spec would need to be rebuilt from the ground up in PvP. But instead of class tuning these days, it's more about adjusting PvP modifiers up and down. The entire philosophy behind the original PvP talent system was
will PvP talents change every season, or will any changes be made to it if necessary, or just talents in general?
Make sure classes could get major reworks without affecting PvE balance and vice versa. The issues we discussed today are just one of many affecting PvPers. We could have discussed other problems too, like map bloat, and the fact that there are potentially way too many arena maps these days, with many weird balancing issues. When players were discussing a solo game mode 3 years ago, the intention was to make sure there was a way to instantly queue and get into the action. But since Solo Shuffle lasts 6 rounds, there is a slow churn of players caused by congestion, which is why
What happens if you are in Solo Shuffle and you get shit on in the first round and someone leaves? Does it fill? You get an L, nothing, it ends, match over, and then you just go back into... Oh my god.
Times can last so long for DPS since you're just waiting for someone else's 6 rounds to end. Button bloat is its own issue, and many players think that rotations are becoming too complicated. We know that PvP combat can feel engaging even with 7 abilities, but you don't even have to take things that far. Between Arena 1-2-3 macros, talent swaps, and more, it's common to have over 40 keybinds in PvP, which is quite daunting as a new player. Even though players fought back pruning during Warlords of Draenor, a bunch of new hero talents on the way could mean...
Yeah, this is a random shout, but you know he's talking about how Arena 1-2-3 macros. So if you're a healer and you want a healing surge Arena 3, you just have a macro to do that, so you don't have to actually mouse over or click them. Did you guys know that Drogo fucking hard targets people to heal them and then clicks the target again to start attacking again? That is fucking insane.
40 keybinds in PvP, which is quite
like no mouse over macros, no none of that.
Daunting as a new player.
Like if you were Drogo right now, you would be attacking a boss and then you would click this rogue to cast Holy Light, and then you would go back to what you were doing after.
And more. It's common
That's
to have
crazy.
over 40 keybinds in PvP, which is
There's a lot of people who do that. There are not a lot of good players who do that.
Daunting as a new player. Even though players
that is very inefficient.
Pruning during Warlords of Draenor, a bunch of new hero talents on the way could mean WoW is getting even more complicated, and could benefit from a return to more simplicity. Arena is already complicated enough, and if we want to attract new players to PvP, it shouldn't feel like you need an Adderall prescription and an encyclopedia just to play. It's always been our goal at Skillcapped to make WoW PvP easier to understand.
Dude, I remember hearing, speaking of the Adderall thing, I remember someone mentioning that to me. They're like, Max, you know what you should do for the next Race World first? Is get like a ton of Addy and just like Addy up the whole raid team at the event. I'm just like, that is... People think that that's a good idea for performance. That would be absolute chaos. That would be a huge problem. That would be extremely stupid. People be fucking tweaking out.
Stand for any player. And over the years, we've been lucky enough to see 500,000 players learn something valuable in WoW.
Can you guys imagine Shaq and Fired Up in Raid just hopped up on a fucking Addy, dude?
And reach their raiding goals. But we want to know what you think. Is WoW too overwhelming these days? If so, what changes do you want to see going into the next expansion? For now, we want to thank y'all for watching. See you soon.
That is an aggressive thumbnail. Alright. Okay, that was kind of interesting. Fuck yeah. Someone said there's a PvE one? Skill-capped... Wow. Oh, they're all PvP. Oh, is it this one? Skill-capped WoW Mythic Plus guides. Damn, they sold their soul to the devil. They have like a ton of subs from PvPers, and they made a PvE one just because there's so many people doing it. Let's see what we got here. Explaining the 4 levels of healing in WoW. That's actually a really good thumbnail. I'm surprised it doesn't have more views. That's a really good thumbnail. Imagine people click that. I mean, you're only advertising it to healers, but yeah. Oh yeah, they do tier lists. That'll get people going. Look at that. Dude, the tier list meta is insane. Carry Lord. Alright, what do you guys got? What other stuff we got here? Okay, there's a Vinricky react to that. Okay, all healers tested season 4. Who's winning? Like Mad Skills TV. He's good. Oh yeah, you guys wanted me to watch this Maw thing. I don't think I really care enough. Oh, these Around the Mage Table guys are back. Let's go. That was hype. Blizz gets it. Easier dungeons equals more Mythic Plus fun. I think they tune the difficulty of dungeons. I think Blizzard tunes Mythic Plus to have a certain challenge level at certain points. I think they care about what Mythic Plus feels like at a plus 10. I think they care about what it feels like at a plus 15. And I think they care about what it feels like at a plus 20 the most, because that's like the best thing for your weekly vault. And then also it's the portals. So like it's a mixture of like KSM a little before that. They like want to curate those experiences, right? Like they would really not want to have the portals to be way too easy or way too hard. Like they want to have it be an adequate challenge, because that's what most people who do Mythic Plus for. I don't think Blizzard even kind of gives a fuck how hard or easy dungeons are at a 25 or a 30, because it's just infinitely scaling, and there's going to be a point where it gets too hard at some point anyway. That's why it takes so long for them to fix certain mechanics that like scale too much. It's because like, you guys want to talk about the thing that guy was just doing in his video? Where was that guy? Here, this. If only you could see a visual representation of, bro, where the fuck is this video? Here it is.
Right now.
Where's the fucking Mythic Plus PvPer thing? This. Bro, if you only had any fucking idea how, maybe it's right after this slide. Nope. Come on. There we go. The amount of people that experience the highest levels or the problematic levels of ability scaling in Mythic Plus versus the people who do Mythic Plus and get portals and no higher would be like 10 million of these people here to the one person. Like, that is why that is so not paid attention to, because just no one fucking does it. Okay, what is it? Watch Growl. What is Growl doing? Learning the ways of Mage, 0 to Hero, Season 2, Ep 2. It's so good. Is it? 0 going undercover as a, oh, it looks like I clicked on this at some point. Going undercover as a new DPS, 0 to Hero, Season 2, Episode 1. 100k views, holy moly.
And with the arrangement of taking light emotional abuse.
Oh man, that'd be so good.
Wait,
As happy as I've
why am I in the
world
thumbnail?
That his favorite part of the new expansion is the new follower dungeons, in hopes that he'll be able to replace me with a bot.
Yeah.
But I just want
That
a
would be
bot
sweet.
healer. That'd be great.
Yeah, never have to play with an actual healer again.
Oh man, that'd be so good.
As happy as I've been with the arrangement of taking light emotional abuse as a healer in exchange for dungeon score, I decided that it's time for a new arc. It's time that I prove to everyone,
Dude, what an excellent video opener.
that I'm not just a healer player, and I can succeed and dominate.
Casuals love this content. Yeah, turns out making content that's catered towards casuals is the absolute best thing you could ever do for your Twitch and YouTube channel.
The M+ ladder as any class. I don't want to settle on something easy. I'm going to play a technical class and push my playing ability to its limits.
Okay.
I'm going to play a fire mage. I close out of the podcast, switch to offline mode as I log in, and Jangbi was born.
Jangbi.
The catch is, I'm gonna have no outside help. I privated my Raider IO so that nobody will know it's me. How hard is it gonna be for a completely brand new, unknown mage to achieve glory in a 20-year-old game where the toughest boss is the looking for group menu? In this series, we're gonna find out.
Okay.
Immediately when I log in, my screen looks like a bigger mess than my first apartment during college. There was trash everywhere, but that's okay. Luckily, I'm just a mage, so I don't need stuff like easy to see party frames or cooldown tracking of my allies. I just walk around, do damage, and collect my score.
True.
I throw on a mage guide on my other monitor, and then immediately tune it out to find a Weegora package and get my UI ready for battle. The guide is 25 minutes long, but if I've learned anything from Asuna's chat, it's that all I need to do is hit the target dummies, stim my character, and then complain that the tank isn't pulling properly and that's why I can't do the same damage. I tinker with my UI a bit, even though I have no idea what any of my abilities do. Keybinds are arbitrarily assigned, and I make my way to the target dummies. Oh, a defensive ability? Yeah, Control, Alt, Shift, Mouse Wheel, J is probably fine. It is at this point I realize that
he's kind of doing it.
I've retained absolutely nothing from the guide I've been listening to, and I have no idea what my rotation is. I just start mashing some random buttons, because that's what I see every mage streamer do. My DPS is low, like so low, 50k. I know mages I can see easily do like 10 times that on a pack of 5 mobs. It must be my gear. I mean, I'm a fresh boost
What's your
at level
gear?
70. I'm probably in like last expansion gear. Once I get a hold of some decent stuff, I'm gonna crush the meters. I transfer myself a bit of gold.
My father gave me a small loan of $1 million.
And fly to the auction house to start buying stuff. Yeah, let's grab a new boot, a new belt, new weapon for sure.
This just throws me back to, he bought a boost on this character, which means he probably bought the raid ready boost. In quotes, raid ready, which gives you 420 eye level loot. And I just, every time that enters my brain, I just think about how mad people who don't play WoW got when that got announced. Because it just said the word raid ready on it, and it didn't actually give you any raid gear.
I think the guide said something about haste. Then I came to a realization. My character was already 424 item level. The new level 70 boosts actually give you gear that's somewhat caught up to jump right into dungeons. The gear that I was buying
is that somewhat caught up though?
Is the same level as the gear that I already had. Well, back to the training room. This time I'm ready to learn. Since you're all noob healers like me, I'll take the time to explain what I've learned so far. Fire Mage as a spec is built off of crits. When you crit twice in a row, you get a buff called Hot Streak. When Hot Streak is active, your next big hitter spell, either Pyroblast for single target or Flame Strike for AoE, is instant cast. The basics are to get a crit, then follow it up in some way with a guaranteed crit spell. Then unload your instant cast big hitter and repeat. When I'm in my major cooldown, Combustion, all my spells crit, so I'm basically just cycling between my instant big hitter, then another quick spell in order to get another big hitter. I practiced, going at the dummies for real this time. It was really complicated.
Damn, it must have taken him a long time to actually make this video. I bet this took a while. Because, like, he has a full voiceover and a story, and, like, he had to get footage for that. His editor probably took forever to make this.
Once that we're doing all these things, I could get guaranteed crits if mobs were over health, if I use this ability, or under health, if they were this ability, or if
he
it
said
was
3 weeks.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
I'll be honest,
sounds about
my
right.
brain hurt. I had to stop after not very long, but surely I'll get better. It's time to sleep on it. I woke up the next day, refreshed and ready to attack. Back into the target dummies. Doing my rotation properly was actually so hard. I'm just in the target dummy room, having my team's voice living rent-free in the back of my head, pointing out my mistakes, envisioning reading the chat, spamming laughing emojis at me. I was beginning to doubt that this would even happen, and I was just considering giving up on my journey here. I mean, no one even—
All right, first of all, maybe this, like, illusion, like, I'm trying to figure out why people would find this so interesting. And number one, it's like, really— like, I think Growl's, like, really funny. It's, like, a good script and really good editing. But, like, I think the idea is people are like, I think Growl's gonna do really bad. But, like, if you play this game at a high level at anything and you, like, actually care and try, you're gonna go into a dungeon. What does 0 to hero mean? Does that mean Keystone Hero? Does that mean doing 30s? Like, you're gonna— unless he's, like, trolling on purpose or basically knows that his audience wants to see him fail, so he picks out some of those spots, you're gonna pick this kind of shit up instantly.
I knew it was gonna happen. I could just go back to sitting on the bench in Valdrakken until all the good healers logged off and I can get an invite again. But I'm not no quitter.
Let's go.
I decided what I needed was a—
But I guess that's a boring video, right? I'm going to go 0 to hero. I'm going to make a new mage. I'm going to buy some gear on it and just zone into dungeons without any help. And I'm going to just zone in and work my way up the ladder. And then you just slam every key you do and instantly get there. There's 0 content, right?
I mean, that is my natural environment. These target dummies, they're just not for me. So I listed my key. And nobody applied. One hunter signed up, joined, and then immediately left. Maybe I'd have better luck signing up to other groups.
Wait, he's making a
Somehow
2?
I actually immediately got invited to another group. I didn't ask any questions.
Yeah, Jang B, let's fucking
I
go.
hurried into the dungeon. Here we were in our first dungeon. A group of young adventurers.
Yeah.
But they didn't know what I will someday become. The key is slammed in. There's no countdown. Blackrock Hold was an easy dungeon, a place I've healed many times before. I knew the mechanics, I just needed to press my buttons. It was time.
Let's fucking
It was
go.
time for my first combustion.
Lust immediately.
We ran into the first pull. Are we getting more? Are we stopping here? Do I pop cooldowns now? Should I bloodlust? Whatever, send it. Pyroblast, flame strike, fire blast, pyroblast. I'm blasting. I have other spells too.
This is a fucking great video.
Living bomb, meteor.
That's funny.
I mean, those are probably good to press during combustion, right? I press shifting power after my combustion. I always see streamers do that. We move into the next pack. Counter spell. I'm doing mechanics. I'm doing damage. Surely that just impressed my party. But then I look at the meters. Somehow this red paladin is just doing more damage than me. At the first boss, I realized that I hadn't
What's his gear?
bloodlusted yet, and I made the first mistake of the run. I lusted when my cooldowns weren't ready. I still
you can't
managed
do
to
that
finish
yet.
the fight with more DPS than this Ret Paladin,
Let's
and
go.
I decided he clearly had some padding AoE build to try and make me look bad. I
Yeah.
was proud of myself, but then the Ret Paladin activated his trap card. The next room was just a massive pull of all these little spiders. Before I even knew it, he just took all the damage. My overall was completely ruined, but luckily I haven't
You can
even
reset
gotten
it.
to the point in my UI where I had overall damage, so I wasn't really feeling the full mental fortitude of what he had just done to me. I try and combust the big spider, but then the tank just starts dragging it away. My combust is
Blink.
ruined. I'm trying to chase it. The tank is clearly working with the paladin to make me look bad. I think my undercover series has already been outed. There are people out here in Group Finder trying to sabotage me.
Yeah.
But I must persevere. The next room is an absolute war zone. It's here where my ability to understand what is going on begins to crumble a little bit. I'm gonna need some outside help to analyze the sequence. For this episode, joining me, I have longtime M+ and Raid Blaster, also Echo's newest Mage, Hopeful, to judge and analyze the sequence.
Okay.
Yo friends, it's Hopeful, and Growl has sent me some gameplay of his new undercover mage to react to and get some feedback on, so that's what we're gonna do. I see the name of the clip is High Level Mage Gameplay #1, so that's what I'm expecting. I'm looking at the key to give you some background. It is a +2 fortified Blackrock Hold, which I didn't know 2 keys had affixes, so let's get in this clip. What a great sized pull. See, he has no combust or anything, so just fireball like you did. Actually don't want a living bomb until 5+ targets before combust, but no big deal. Shifting to get combust, what a play. Oh, what a blink out before. Okay, so that's a big thing about playing Fire Mage. As a caster, it's kind of unique as a mage because you can achieve 100% uptime in any situation with Ice Flows or Shimmer, and I'm looking... Okay, I don't see Ice Flows, and he has blink. Maybe it's on these bars down here, but all good. You don't, Ice Flows isn't needed anyways. You can achieve 100%
Wait.
uptime as mage without losing any
Is he not
DPS.
playing?
So
Is he not playing Shimmer? Bro, I would never spec out of Shimmer as a mage. I don't give a fuck if Ice Flows gives me more uptime.
Really, that's what you want to do. So, for example, in this situation, instead of blinking back, which was a fantastic beginner move, you would Ice Flows and just walk to the left or right of that air barrage. And that way you would lose 0 uptime. You wouldn't cancel any shifting. That's how you'd play a mage. I personally probably wouldn't send this combust here because it's only 2 mobs. And he's not sending it. Great. Now I hope this next pull isn't 2 mobs. It is. Oh, and he combust. Oh, and the mobs got pulled. That's good. See, that's another situation where you could have.
Oh, and then he
Ice Flows the move
meteored the single dog.
instead of wasting globals. Kind of didn't cast anything for a couple seconds there. I guess it's a little understand because there's a +2 companion on him. But ideally in this situation, you would Ice Flows and then hard cast a Pyro because his SKB is ready. So understandable that this dog's hunting him down. I would do the same thing. Oh, okay. Also, that pack got pulled and people are dying left and right. So what's happening? Oh no, this isn't looking good. Double shoots? Get his SKB up for like 20 seconds. Oh, and his group's wife. It's a wife and a 2. That's good. Get out of there. Where's his HP bar? Over.
What is it? You can tell he watches Fired Up. He talks. Yeah, he has the same mannerisms as Shaq and Fired Up. But they kind of do that to our whole guild. They do that to me too. I end up talking like them too.
Oh my god, he's dead.
They're
Oh, this is a
trendsetters.
classic Fire Mage move. You sprint with caught to your healer. Heal him. What heal? What he's casting? No. What did he die to? Melee. All good. Happens.
That's just how Hopeful talks.
But,
Chicken before the egg.
yeah, overall, his first time playing Mage. Not bad. Not bad. There's some fundamental thing.
Dude, Growl is so interesting because, like, he didn't, like, practice a lot and then go into a 2. He just went into a 2 and just, like, fucking YOLO'd it. Which obviously is going to lead to him playing pretty bad, but that's the only way that this is any content whatsoever. But the thing that I find fascinating is I think that Growl doesn't like when people say that he's bad. Like if, like, the class Discord or whatever was like, yo, Growl fucking sucks, he would be like, fuck you, I'm, like, you know, like, but, like, being self-deprecating and doing stuff like this is really good for content. So it's like, I just wonder how he deals with that. Because I don't think, no one likes someone telling you you're bad or whatever, but, like, the whole point of this video is, hopefully I'm not breaking any illusions here, is him to be bad on purpose. Right? So I don't, it's so interesting to think of that because, like, I don't know, I don't think he or I or other people are like this have a strong enough mental to just, like, have a bunch of people think that you did something bad and that's cool, you know?
Things like the movement, but that's probably one of the hardest things about Mage is the movement aspect of it. So
what is it? I think he can live it because he can always say he's new to this. Yeah, but if you really want to be great at something, you would pride yourself on being good at something really fast, you know?
I'm sure he'll get at this situated. I'm sure he'll find ice flows. I'm gonna assume it's down here and you can see it, but I don't see ice flows anywhere here. So, but a lot of good things.
Down
in this
where?
clip. Fantastic blink out of danger. Holding combust for the next back.
Oh
'cause his
shit,
back is-
we can go to the,
What spell did you click?
wait, I forgot we had watched this already.
At this point, I learn a valuable lesson that every young DPS learns, or maybe doesn't learn. You pull it, you tank it. The tank doesn't taunt, the boss just shears my head off and I fall over, embarrassingly in the middle of the boss room. I mean, okay.
What is it? He's not bad, he's just inexperienced. Yeah, but like as a streamer especially, like, if you go into a situation of something you know you're gonna do bad on right away, you can have all the humility in the world, but then just seeing some random fucking person or people in your chat that have never done anything unironically be like, you fucking suck, and that's what they wanted to see for that day, you know they don't like you, and they're like just fucking just waiting to root on your downfall, and then you gave that to them. Like, bro, that's like mental damage.
Could have mirror imaged, I could have blinked or barriered or mass invis or just not done that, but why didn't the tank taunt? The Ret Paladin battle reses me out of pity just to beat me in damage on the fight anyway. The next pulls after the second boss.
It would be hard to hate on Growl. Oh, dude, you would think so, but actually, I don't know. Well, like, class Discord people don't like Growl, but also class Discord people don't like anyone who's not a part of their club. That's a very common, well-known thing that's happened for a long time. But you're right. I would say most people, it would be hard to dislike Growl. He's pretty likable.
Showed me how lacking in preparation I really was. We started doing big pulls and
like, the only people who would dislike him, well, I mean, you could dislike anyone for any reason. Maybe you just don't like his personality or something. But the main group is like people who, them being good at WoW is their personality, which are not super common even amongst the top end. It's actually usually like not the very, very best players who feel that way. It's like the ones that aren't quite as good are usually the ones that are like, I'm the best fucking WoW player ever, I don't ever make any mistakes. Big class Discord energy kind of people. And that's why you hear a lot from class scores, but also from people in other guilds. Like, I'm fucking way better than that guy. Dude, if I healed Dorky, oh my god, we'd be the #1 fucking... There are people like that for sure.
I realized I have no idea how to AoE. Do I press Flame Strike? I start pressing buttons, but I'm literally doing below tank damage. I'm coming to the realization that I might not be built for this. Luckily, our Ret Paladin, just 360 no-scope Omega Blast Pad and the entire pack adds up another 20 million damage to his overall and makes me look like a fool. We walk up the stairs trying to dodge the rocks, and it's this point I realize that...
What is it? The DH Discord hates now and the Druid Discord hates Dorky? Is that true, Dorky? Yeah, that's not surprising. That it's a tale as old as time, bro. Where and some creators are smart and they like kind of begrudgingly interact with those communities so they don't become this hated person with a target on their head. But usually when a lot of those discords were created, they were created by people who kind of wanted to be the original source of information. You get a bunch of people together, guys, we're the people who theory craft and have the guides and have all the information. And then here's exactly what happens. Here's exactly what happens. Someone links a clip from a streamer who is usually asked a question, and then someone will link that clip in that Discord in which you don't interact with, and then it's immediately an us versus them thing. It's like, oh, that person said this thing? Like, no, like, fucking fuck that. Like, there's just a feeling of animosity because they're just not a part of the group. Where what some content creators do, and they're really smart for this, is they'll, like, all you have to do is talk in there sometimes so they feel like you're part of the group, and then that goes away forever. But, like, if you, like most people don't interact with class discords, you become this hated figure of, like, contrary information to them. Like perfect example. You guys have ever heard Evade talk? Like, super smart, always doesn't say anything unless he really knows what he's talking about. Like, researches all this shit. Really nice guy. Hard to dislike him. The DH Discord, at least for a while, fucking hated that guy. And there's the only reason is that people would bring up things that he said on stream when, again, he wasn't professing anything. He was just asked a question and answered somebody the best of his ability. And because he's just not part of the group, he becomes hated. You will see this as a really common thing with any creator and the Discord equivalent of whatever they do. If they're a mage player, it would be the mage Discord. If they're a rogue player, it would be the rogue Discord. If they're a healer, it could be the broad healer community. There's a really, really toxic group of healers specifically that kind of bounce around all of the healer places. Like, you will find people that are like that. There's always a weird relation between creators and groups of Discord, and it's just all based on ego. That's it. And I've actually seen it happen a couple of times where people have been hated and they go in there and have one conversation and then it's like instantly fine because it was never based on anything anyway. It's just like some high school shit.
All my teammates are actually just stunt doubles for Indiana Jones for a living, as they're just taking every single rock to the face. Luckily, at this key level, they don't kill you.
What is there a raid leader Discord? Yeah, that actually did kind of happen with the raid leader Discord. Like, I went in there one time and then some people were like, oh my god, like, Max is here, and then some other person was like, oh yeah. Like, I had answered someone who asked me a question on how to do heroic Razageth, and I had never really thought about it that much, but I just answered my question. Or I answered the question and I was like, yeah, I would probably do it this way. And I just like never even really thought about it. And then I like go in this thing and they're like, hey, how do you feel? You need to answer for what you said. Remember how this one time there's this clip of you and you said how to do Razageth heroic and it was wrong? It's actually better to do it this way. And then I responded and I was like, yeah, I don't know. It made sense to me at the time. And I don't know. I don't ever do heroic a lot. And I was just answering a question. And also sometimes I'm wrong. That's just all I said. And then that instantly dispelled all of it because it was the same thing. If you're a raid leader exchange Discord guy and your entire bit is people come to you and you theory craft cool different ways to do new raid fights and stuff, which is cool. I like that too, right? Like, that's what they love. And then someone comes in there and they're like, oh, well, you're telling to do this? Well, Max, this world first raid leader guy, said to do this. Here's a clip of Max saying this. Over time, you just grow to detest me because you want to be that guy. Does that make sense? That I don't think what happened in the raid leader exchange Discord was really that much, but I definitely got those vibes when I just came in there. That exact same thing happens with at least any WoW content creator and the class of the class Discord of the class they play, unless they actively try to combat it.
And we make it up to the top. The rest of the dungeon was pretty uneventful. I'm struggling on AoE doing tank damage, and we don't really want to see that. So let's fast forward to the last.
What is it? I mean, it's probably just super annoying to have that constantly. I think you learn over time that people that can create this image of you and have this super strong opinion of you without really knowing you at all, proven by the fact that you could instantly dispel any negative feelings or hatred by just speaking to them at all. You grow to not ever give a fuck what people like that think of you or anything, really, right? I mean, pretty low opinion.
Boss, where it was my time.
Why would you care?
My boss timers are like blocking my screen. I can barely see what's going on.
Sometimes people don't like you, man.
Or charges that I have. In hindsight, I don't even know if it mattered, if that would have made a difference. We quickly burned through the first phase and the first half of the second phase, when tragedy strikes. Our boomkin finds a way to die when the only thing on the screen is a giant purple line and we're down to 4 players. Oh well, no big deal, but then our priest and then our tank go down? I guess it's just some deadly overlap of a giant purple line and they had their monitor off. It was just me and the paladin left. I do the only thing I know how to do, which is cast combustion while I have an SKB proc active and then just immediately hard cast a fireball. The paladin
goes
bubbles,
hard.
and then by some unbelievable fluke, I had already pressed mirror images at some point. The boss rushes towards my equally skilled but less handsome counterparts. The paladin then reses our druid, who immediately chain reses our tank. Then we sort of just remember that it's only a +2 and just delete the boss without even needing a healer. We did it. Our first dungeon is complete.
Damn, so the video's already over. That's actually crazy. So I was actually thinking about like all the work that went into this. But as far as I could tell, this video was him making a mage, setting up his UI, and doing literally 1 dungeon. And then basically his editor, he had to come up with a script, which took some time, and then his editor just had to cook even more, right? And then obviously they can make more parts to it. But like considering that 100K views for 100K views for something that is effectively just doing a dungeon and setting up a guy is sick. That's a huge editing gap. I thought he edited himself. Growl is the editor. Really? That would surprise me a lot. I'm going to go ahead and... Let's see. It's in the description. Wait, where is that? Oh, thumbnails and edits. Oh, he just... Okay, yeah, you just... That's this guy. Then why'd you guys make that up? Growl is the editor. Growl is the editor. I think he does his own edits. You know, made that up. See, now, if you were wrong about that and someone linked me a clip of it, and I was actually the prominent source of information for whether Growl was his own editor or not, I would probably develop a deep, lifelong hatred for you that you didn't even know about. Hey, sometimes we're wrong. All right, it's instantly dispelled. We're cool again. Let's go watch part 2. I think I'm chilling for now. The world's highest key is a non-meta tank. Yeah, I saw that. Aren't they doing that like break the meta thing? So I understand I'm trending on dangerous territory here. But it seems like break the meta and all the like community Mythic Plus tournaments that are run get like extremely low viewership and participation, which is unfortunate. Is that true here? Like, are there people that are like, it's the fucking break the meta part of the season? Like, is it increasing viewership? Like, oh, this guy has like 100 viewers. I don't know what he normally has. Yodar is giving Yoda something to do, but he's playing, is Rogue off meta? Wait, what are the rules here? Break the meta and meta versus meta are open to all players and eligible reasons. To be break the meta eligible, the dungeon must be completed in time and every player must have played the entire dungeon as one of the eligible specs. Okay. Opening up eligible specs thing. Oh, it just gave me the same link. Where, right? Am I crazy? Open link as new tab. Okay, just the same link. Where's the... Just click it? I did. I've clicked it a lot. Oh, eligible specs. Woohoo! So, Brewmaster, Guardian, Prot, Holy Paladin, Holy Priest, Prez, and Resto. Holy Priest is great. Interesting. Okay. Boomy and Shadow Priest were on this before. I mean, a lot of these specs are really good. Enhance is great. Ellie's great. That's just the weird thing in the game right now is there's like multiple classes that'll do the same overall damage as anyone. But they just don't have the defensives and the stops. Ooh, Destro bangs. Alright, anyways. So back to the rules. Well, the thing is with the whole break the meta thing, and maybe this isn't actually how it plays out, but like, it's just ironic that in a tournament that is there to break the meta, which I guess that's not really what it's there to do. Like, what it's there to do is just to highlight other specs that you don't see in high keys a lot, I guess. But what it does is it creates a meta for break the meta. The meta is inevitable, right? Even if you look at the eligible specs, you could create a group of 5 specs that are just way better than other ones, you know? But yeah, either way. It's just for fun anyway. And then what's meta versus meta? In order for a run to be meta versus meta eligible, the dungeon must be completed in time and every player in the group must be playing a Demon Hunter. What? Okay, so just 4 DPS, Vengeance Demon Hunter, all Demon Hunter groups. Alright, so where can I see the leaderboards of that? So BTM run leaderboard. Like, how many people are participating in this? That's what I kind of need to see. I mean, it looks like a pretty good amount, right? Well, it says 8,000 were run. Okay, a lot of these don't even know they're breaking the meta when they're doing it. But, like, these groups definitely are, right? People are out here doing 30s. That's the top player on the ladder. What's meta versus meta run leaderboard? What's the highest key they've done? Dude, this actually sounds kind of fun. I honestly would fuck with this. I would fuck with just random weird challenges like play all Demon Hunters, and that sounds fun to me. Is there 5 tanks in the top group? You better fucking believe it. That top run took 90 minutes. Wait, it doesn't even have to be in time? Oh, it gave them 0 score, so it doesn't have to be in time. So what's the player leaderboard? These guys right here are the Demon Hunter goats. Do one right now? Nah. I gotta play hockey in a bit. And then I'm gonna do some other shit. You know what I mean? Actually, should I play hockey tonight? Guys, should I take a rest day? Yesterday, I played a very high-level pickup game. On Saturday night, I played 2 games. And I lifted legs yesterday. On Saturday night, I played 2 games. On Friday, I played 1 game and lifted upper body. On Thursday, I played 2 games. I feel like I might need one. Sounds like a rest day angle. Listen to your body. My body's feeling pretty... Oh, I need to go eat, by the way. Yeah, maybe we're chilling for today. Could have some big long streams this week if they end up releasing alpha. Could be this week or next week. Where's this week in WoW? Dude, maybe there's a reason why. Who knows? Wait, are we actually close to alpha? Yeah, has to come out before Season 4. So, Season 4's in, like, 2 weeks, so... Has to be this week or next week. 3 weeks? Is it in 3 weeks? No, it's like 2 weeks from now. So yeah, yeah. Roadmap would never lie. It hasn't lied yet. I guess it could lie. All right, yeah, I'm gonna dip. Excellent yap session, everybody. Excellent yapping. By all of us. We were all yapping together. Tomorrow, am I streaming tomorrow? I don't know. Maybe. Anyways, we have a potty C coming out tomorrow. Good luck. Good luck, everybody. Stay strong. Remember to look at the sun directly.